Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much, Fabsh, for that subscription with Twitch Prime. Please be aware, though, everyone, subscriptions and bits will not go towards the charity today. Please use the official donate link to help us reach our goal. Before we go live, please join us for Alison's story.
Polycystic kidney disease is a big one because you have cysts on the kidneys and it reduces kidney function exponentially. It's not a buzzword disease, not everyone knows about it, and so that could use money, but at the same time, I have lived my life as a transgender teen on the front lines of the LGBT community. I've been going to Cincinnati Children's since I was tiny, and I still go, and they helped me with my kidney disease. They helped me with like other things that I had when I was a kid. They helped me with transition, which was a big one, and they've just been there every step of the way. I can't imagine a journey without Cincinnati Children's. Adults, like, they can access hormones on their own, but children, they need their parents' permission. They need like a whole support system in order to get that going. And that's why I think it's really important that it's at a children's hospital.
All of my stuff may not be on Roll20, so I'm gonna...
It's all good. Good morning, everyone. Oh, hi, and welcome to the Extra Life stream D&D Marathon. I'm sorry for just cutting you off there, Jen.
Sorry.
Welcome. Before we go around and say hello to these wonderful faces around the screen, please take a moment to check out our opening message, which is, of course, all about the charity. Today, we are aiming... If I can spell the name of the charity who we're supporting today. Take 3. Today we are supporting Extra Life for Kids in association with D&D. We're trying to raise 5k to support critical mission hospitals in the States. Click the link there to go and check it out. You can see ways that you can affect the stream over there. Also, big thanks to our sponsors whose logos you will see around the screen and other things for making this all possible. Let's go around and say hello to everyone. Mackenzie, how you doing?
Oh, hi! I am so excited, and I'm just so excited. I've seen everyone's characters, and oh boy, it's gonna be awesome. But anyways, yes. Oh, hi! I am Mackenzie. MakenzieLaneDA on Twitter. You can call me Mac. You can usually find me as the co-host and current DM of One-on-One, a D&D duet campaign, which you can find more about at One-on-One D&D on Twitter. I'm also a TTRPG writer and game designer, so you can check out my work like Canaro's Candy Compendium on DM's Guild and Burp Brains on Itch.io. But most importantly, I am going to be your dungeon master for the next 3 hours as we kick off this awesome charity stream for a absolutely wonderful cause. I also might be on the receiving end of some cinnamon red hots, depending on how donuts go, so that's exciting. Shall we go around and meet our wonderful crew of players for today's stream?
By all means. Why don't we go clockwise on the stream and start with Dream Wisp. Jen, oh hi!
Hello! How's it going? I am Jen. I am Dream Wisp. I am a producer, actor, performer, director, writer. I also am on Beyond Heroes on D&D Beyond. I've been playing D&D for about 20 years, DMing for more than 15, and I'm so excited to be here. My favorite thing is to be doing charity events and doing good with the thing I love to do most. So I'm so excited to be here. Oh, and I am playing Zinfi. Zinfi is your friendly camp counselor who likes to play songs by the fire, and she is definitely a changeling bard.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Next around the screen, we have Lazy Mermaiden. Oh, hi, Katie.
Oh, hello. Hi. My name's Katie. You can find me on Adventure Maidens every Wednesday. You can also find me on Twitter at lazy_mermaiden. I am going to be playing Karen Jimblejack today. She's a Warforged fighter barbarian, very Full House style teenager to her gnome parents, and she has a few short circuiting issues when she ends up raging. So I'm excited to pound some faces in.
Katie's been sharing some art that she doodled with us this week about her character. I hope you share it at some point. It's gonna be great. Next around, we have Live in Pink Jen. 2 Jens, not confusing.
Yeah.
Oh hi.
Yeah, not confusing at all. And we have similar hair colors too, just to
It's true.
make it very complicated. It's
I can go grab my glasses if we want to make it even more complicated.
Oh god. So my username is Live in Pink. I used to be a full-time streamer, but now I work in the video game industry as a production manager for Behavior. You may know them by Dead by Daylight. It's their most popular game. But I'm on an unannounced secret project, so you guys can't know what I do. I do things. Anyway, so super excited to play. This character came to me as a revelation. It's not a lot of pressure because it's like the inspiration is so cool that I probably will not live up to it, but it really created a really cool character. So my character's name is the Cleric of Belsnickel. He's one of the highest ranking camp attendees. He's also a volunteer for the camp security. He self-proclaimed himself as assistant to the camp headmaster. He built a shack next to the camp and grows beets there, and he lives there. So that's my character. He's a big fan of this camp. He's probably he's done it every year until he was too old for it, and somehow he's still there. We don't know how that worked out, but yeah.
Just never left. He just stayed there.
Yeah, he's a little bit too old for the group. He's 3 years older. We don't know why he's there really.
And so today I will be playing Esmeralda Thundergrumble, who is an elderly warlock who may or may not be attending as some form of community service. She's honestly so very nice, so very, very nice. She might goose you now and then, she's got a creepy demeanor, but she'll hand you out sweeties too, totally safe.
Totally safe. Totally fine.
100%. Don't worry about it. Everything's fine. Don't question it. It's totally fine.
I believe they should be inspected by camp security first before being distributed.
No unwrapped sweets in the camp allowed.
Don't keep them in the bunk because that's how you get ants.
And also,
1 ounce. That's how you get ants.
That's one of the camp rules actually. Don't get ants.
This is the thing. This is going to be really interesting for me because I have never experienced camp.
Oh.
Yeah, we don't really have that in the UK. We have scouts, but we're a small island and we've got a whole lot of houses. So yeah.
Should we go over the donation rewards or the donation forfeits?
There are donation rewards, yes. Donation rewards, as if you follow the link, $5. You can grant an advantage to a player. It's cheaper to be supportive than unsupportive because $10 is a disadvantage. $25, we will do forfeits. I have been boozled. I can see Mackenzie has hot tamales there. Pop them if you got them. I think Jen's got some sweeties as well. It's
sour.
Spicy.
The
worst.
Sour.
And I'll just cheer them on. It's okay.
I'm sorry. Look, someone has to be capable of plugging the charity while everyone else is just
suffering
foaming at the mouth. Yeah.
Oh yeah. And you can also donate higher than that or multiples of, and we will increase the amount of people who do a forfeit. But hey, Mackenzie, why don't we get straight into this?
All right. Is there anything anyone else would like to say before we get started, or shall we jump right in?
Yeah, just please, if you can, help out. This is an amazing cause, and anything you give helps. So even if it's $1 or $2, that's an amazing thing. If you can spare it, this is a great reason to spare it.
No, just do it for Belsnickel.
Do it for Belsnickel.
God.
Do it for
Sustainable
Belsnickel.
support is good support.
You know, it's how you reestablish order in the world. You know.
And
I
do you
mean,
know
what
what?
would Belsnickel do?
Even if you can't
Think
afford
about that.
Even if you can't afford the dollar or whatever, we support sustainable forms of support here. If you can't help out financially, go and check out the tweet. Retweet the tweet. Let your friends know where you're watching. You can support in other ways other than financially. Just help us out. Thank you so much.
All right. Then let's jump right into Bring on the Monsters, our little wonderful summer camp one-shot. So, with the plethora of adventurers running around the world these days, it's inevitable that some of those adventurers will eventually settle down, have kids, pass down their stories to the next generation. And with that, it's also inevitable that those kids will want to become adventurers themselves. So what do you do with a bunch of rambunctious children eager to fight monsters and save the world? Summer camp. More specifically, Camp Noctur, a summer haven for second-generation adventurers from all walks of life. There are only 2 stated rules at camp. Protect each other and stay out of the woods, though some may argue otherwise. And save for like a couple of incidents that we don't talk about, ever, the camp has been a pretty good success. You've all reached the final evening of camp with only a few bruises to show for it, and as Camp Director Valerian Michael and our lovely Cleric of Belsnickel himself prep for one last presentation for the campers around the massive bonfire, let's see where we can find our wonderful characters as we go around and look at this camp as the sun sort of sets over the woods.
And do some forfeits, did I hear you say? Thank you very much, Critical Bard and Kentucky Hawkeye, both of whom have donated without nominating anyone, so we could do it on a dice roll if you would like. Let's see, 1d4, Mackenzie 1, me 4, Jen 2, Katie 3.
Sure.
So that's me.
I should have thought of something to eat.
You're good. I mean, we can do other things. Okay, so me and Jen.
Okay. We're doing sour, spicy.
They didn't nominate, so it's up to you. The first one that's rolled out of my box of bean boozles is either peach or vomit.
Oh no! Oh no!
So let's kick this thing off, shall we?
Going grape.
And you seem unsure.
It's sour.
Oh, it's vomit. I can tell.
It's just so acidic. This.
Oh.
So, since Scrat and Jen are otherwise indisposed at the moment, why don't we start off with, and we know where our lovely cleric is, why don't we start with Karen? Where can we find Karen on this evening as the sun sets on the last day of camp?
Yeah, I think Karen is kind of standing next to any sort of bonfire thing with like a group of her gal pals. The only thing being that, you know, Karen's 7 feet tall. So she just kind of towers over the rest of them and kind of like looks down and chats and like she's roasting a marshmallow, even though everyone knows she ain't gonna eat that marshmallow. She doesn't have a real mouth. And so she's just chatting about what boys she thinks are cute at the camp. And living her best life on her last days of camp, getting ready to go on her own adventure, because this is the last year that she has to come here before she's allowed to go out and do it herself.
And can we get a quick description of what Karen looks like, other than the fact that she's 7 feet tall?
Yeah, she has like a nice like chrome pink finish on her metal. She's just got this mess of pink and purple wires that kind of come down like hair. And she's got 2 big blue lamp eyes with like drawn on like eyelashes around them. And her body is like very, it looks like her giant muscles that she was originally built with have kind of been turned into like poofs on like sleeves of a frilly dress. And she always just like sparkles as the light hits her, like she got like that good finish for her sweet 16, you know what I'm saying? So that's Karen.
Awesome.
Yeah, and so a couple of your friends, did we get another dono?
Yeah, you've been nominated, Mac. Bowman nominates Mac for a forfeit.
Okay. I gotta chug 2 of these because I've developed a tolerance since the last time I've done them. Here we go.
And hey, I haven't shouted them out, but Derek Sword donated as the very first time I put the charity link on Twitter. Derek Sword donated. So Derek, thank you as well.
Awesome.
It hurts. Oh, it hurts.
No, the
But that
sour
means-
is like right there.
We're like 20 minutes in. We've already raised $100 for Extra Life. So thank you so much, everyone.
That's so
Wahoo.
awesome.
Yay. That's great. That's fast.
Yeah, we need to figure out some stretch goals.
Oh yeah. Karen, as you are sitting around the campfire, one of your gal pals, sort of a gnome with sort of blonde hair, kind of pulled up into a messy bun, just sort of like nudges. They're pretty short, so it's like nudging like your thigh panel, and just sort of taps you and goes, "Oh my god, did you see Brian? Did you see what he wore today? It's like so cute."
Oh my god. Yeah, Brian is kind of the most expected dreamboat, but Kyle, oh gosh.
Oh my god.
Do you think he likes tall girls? Because
I mean, look, anyone who likes you would totally be lucky enough to date someone as amazingly strong as you. So, like, if he doesn't like you, then, like, there's something wrong with him.
you are so right. Oh my god, how did you get so wise? Just like going back and forth and just like giving eyes, but you can't really see which way her eyes are like looking anywhere because they're just light bulbs.
Awesome. And let's go around. Let's go to, sorry, how do you, Zinfi? What's Zinfi?
Zinfi.
Where is Zinfi around at the
Oh,
campfire?
here at the campfire, Zinfi is at the campfire. She has her lute. She is strumming it, singing some hippie songs. These are songs that were popular probably like 70 to 120 years ago, depending on where you're from. But they're nice to sing around the fire. Everyone's mother sang them to them, or father, or parent while they were little. And just kind of getting the campers engaged as they roast marshmallows and have some s'mores.
And what does Zinfi look like right now? Because I know they're a changeling, but what
Yes.
what have they chosen for today?
Currently, Zinfi's sort of preferred form is short, dark hair with, I'm just pulling up the picture I have for my reference, very colorful, with tall boots, bright purple leggings, and a green top. Lots of friendship bracelets that were made over the years, and big dangly earrings, and a flower crown because it is that kind of day.
Yeah, I love it. I love honestly,
Every day is that kind of day.
It's true. It's true.
I have a
wish
flower
had
crown
one.
in my closet. I so want to break it out right now.
I know, I
Um,
really want one right now. I don't have one.
But that's not what my character thinks. My character's thinking right now,
I'm
flutes, am I right? It's just like a lesser flute. It's missing an F, duh.
Ooh. Before we dive really deep into that very specific brand of salt, where can we find Esmeralda Thundergrumble? Our one actual camp counselor.
Sphinxville just donated $500 to the charity.
That's a lot of forfeit.
Sphinx, thank you so much. That's like 10% of the goal
That's-
in
no,
one
that's-
hit, you crazy person.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my
thank you
god!
so much.
Yo,
That's 20 forfeits, by the way.
Can I
let's
just
just...
shove a handful into my face?
Yeah, that's pretty much what I think I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna grab a handful of beans.
Alright.
There's a good amount there. A lot of them are strange colors. We'll see what happens
4,
here.
5. You know, we'll do. I think 6 is good. I think 6 is fine.
Oh. Oh.
I just, oh.
Fine.
This is somehow worse because I've definitely got stink bug in here, but it's really sweet because of some of the other beans. I haven't got a clue what's going on here.
It's like, is this bad or is this actually good?
It's definitely bad. It's like sickly sweet like a corpse or something. Oh my god.
I
Yeah,
tried.
this just tastes like pain. pain on my end.
This tastes like pain.
I can't even say anything because I put so many.
Yeah. I managed to get mine down to a pulp, but there we go.
Paul. I'm just the
Esmeralda.
color commentary here for these moments.
Yeah, right.
Like basically, you know, the viewers are thinking I'm doing what they would say. You're like, what? Does it taste good or bad? Explain to us how you feel right now.
Oh, God. Okay.
Ooh. Oh,
We love
The
charity.
kids.
It's so good. We support this charity so much. Ow.
but not as much as Sphinx. Thank you so much, Sphinx.
Oh my god, that's
amazing.
amazing.
Yeah, thank
That-
you.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Anyways, Esmeralda.
Yes.
Yeah.
A short halfling, standing at 3'11". She is, she's going to be off to the side somewhere, perhaps teaching some of the quieter camp kids, if there are any. She's got like dark hair that's kind of mossy green, held back with twigs and twine, that's pulled so tight it looks like it's literally lifting her forehead back out from covering her eyes, which it may well be. She is ridiculously wrinkled, like old leather, but has a strange sort of youthful feel to her. You know when like someone's kind of, they look old but they just seem really young. That's Esmeralda, and she will almost definitely be teaching a child how to make a protection circle when you're out trapped in the woods. She's, you know, doing the usual thing of writing on the ground, scribbling with sticks and chalk, and definitely teaching them something eldritch.
Yeah, this little like goblin child, like maybe like barely 3 feet high, just like, Miss Thundergrumble, is it supposed to look like that? Is it? This looks kind of like what Johnny says looks like infernal. I thought this was supposed to be protection.
Yes, it's very protective. Anyone who enters this circle without your permission, you'll be very safe. Very, very safe. And remember, if any strange entities ask you if you want their protection, what do you say?
No.
Yes, please. Yes,
Okay,
please.
I was wrong.
Yes, please. I pledge my soul. Please protect me in this time of danger, and then you'll
Yes,
be
please.
okay.
I pledge my soul. This feels like a prank. Are you sure?
It's never failed me. Never failed me once.
That's the face they make. And as we leave on that note of stunned child silence, where can we? I'm assuming the cleric of Belschnickel is talking with Camp Director Valerian and Michael as they prep for their last little presentation. Valerian sort of looks a medium height elf, sort of tanner, almost dark brown skin, with hair sort of pulled into this messy French braid, just sort of shifting nervously and just sort of, are you sure you want to do this? Are you sure? The whole plan seems a little convoluted, don't you think?
I believe a good reminder of the learnings that happened this week is necessary for these kids.
But
Judgment is nigh.
But is the self-immolation really necessary, or?
Oh, God.
They must not know it is planned, as it is a surprise to test their skills and reactions.
I mean, that feels a little. Are you gonna be all right?
Yes. I've always recovered from this final closing ceremony. Just a little burn,
I
you
mean,
know?
as long as none of the parents write to us again, because I don't want to deal with a bunch of angry parents again. So just be careful.
Don't worry. I'll handle their complaints and put them in the judgment box as we.
Yeah, that's
agreed
what I'm
upon.
concerned about. Anyways, I am going to go prep the judgment box. Good luck. Have fun. Don't hurt anyone. I'm just gonna go. And Valerian just sort of walks away. And as the cleric of Belschnickel sort of summons the campers for this last presentation, why don't we get a little description of what our lovely cleric looks like, and then hear this lovely presentation that you have planned.
Yeah, so the cleric of Belschnickel is about 19 years old. He's a dwarf. He has blue eyes, very, very pale skin, blonde hair, and he's 5 feet tall, which is like the tallest you can be, pretty much as a dwarf. So he feels very good about himself about that, because he's a tall dwarf, you know. And he's about 150 pounds, which is like, he's probably slightly on the rounder side. So yeah, so that's the cleric of Belschnickel. So the time, the sun is at the right position for this to begin. So he goes, "Assemble! Assemble, children, by the bonfire." They're probably already there, all of them, but you know, he likes to start it.
Oh yeah, they're
like
already
that.
there. They all, some of them just sort of.
Announcement time, announcements.
The end of camp closing ceremony is beginning, but first I must give you my judgment. Judgment is nigh. I have like this little stick, and I'm like, "Impish, learn the lesson. Impish, pay attention. Impish, 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 impish." And then I run to get into position, like between 2 trees, so that I'm like perfectly placed for this to be very theatrical. I take out my flute, which is clearly superior to a lute, as I previously stated. And then I start playing it while doing an interpretative dance that conveys the lesson learned all throughout the week. So like you can kind of remember the teachings, like protect each other, stay out of the woods.
I back you up. I pull out a drum and I start backing you up on
Nice.
this.
You can see I appreciate this backing up. It's kind of making the cleric's judgment on you, like, suddenly it's like, oh, like, you know, she plays the lute, but she backs me up, so, you know, not sure.
Cleric of Belschnickel, do you want to, how about you roll me a performance check, and we'll do it with advantage because you have Zinfi backing you up.
Nice.
First roll of the campaign.
Nice. Oh, wow, I have
you
terrible...
Not only am I backing you up, but you have bardic inspiration.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
That's gonna make up for my horrible charisma. So wait, you said I have advantage?
Yes, you have advantage. I believe it rolls automatically. If not, just like click it twice.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Oh,
no,
well,
it does.
I mean...
Yeah, it's an
And then
average for...
What's the dice for bardic inspiration? What size is it?
I believe it's a D10.
Okay.
Very nice.
So I think
Oh,
you
do
can go to
I
the-
roll a
yeah.
d10 or so?
Yeah, roll a d10. You can either do in the chat /R or there you go.
Not bad.
Awesome. So that is in 19. So, look. Whether or not this dance is good is up to personal interpretation, but it does impart the lessons of camp very well.
Mm-hmm.
It is-
And then I'd like to conclude by saying, since you have all failed at learning the lessons properly, you will need to come back next year for further training. You must be prepared at all times to face the threats. For I do not fear the fire. And then I walk on the fire.
And you successfully set yourself on fire.
Alert!
Everyone,
Alert! Assistant to the camp counselor set on fire. Address to student campers. This is a test. End of ceremony. I'm done. Sorry.
yeah, so everyone, you see this happen.
Karen-
People who have been at camp for a while, you kind of know the drill, I'm assuming. I'm assuming this happens quite frequently.
Karen has already had, having been there a few years, like a heavy blanket sitting next to her at the bonfire, and she like takes like a few very loud steps over and just kind of like throws it over him, and she's like, "That was better than last year."
I like, you know, I'm kind of disappointed that she was so prepared in a way, but I'm also kind of proud that she learned the lesson over the years. So it's like, I give her a little, like, a nod. I'm like, Belschnickel, thanks you.
No problem, man. When she goes back over to her other friends, because she's like, I can't stand next to him for too long. What will they think?
I probably have like the smell of burnt hair, you know.
I think This being Esmeralda's first camp, she's just looking on in bemused silence. She will definitely take the opportunity to pack her pipe and definitely think on this.
The prop.
I love that pipe so much. As you sort of drink, there's another little tug, and that same little goblin goes, "So wait. He said that we shouldn't be ambitious, but you said that we need to make deals with Eldritch Horrors, so which one is it? I'm getting a lot of mixed messages here, and I'm like 5.
These questions aren't always to be answered in the moment, unless you happen to be in great peril. The real question is, what would you give up?
Does that count as great peril? Points to the person burning in the fire.
I'm not really sure. I've not really dealt much with
Are you
setting
being
oneself alight.
offered an eldritch bargain at this very moment?
No. Yes?
Or
No.
are you sure? Yes or no?
Looks over at Esmeralda.
Honest with me, and like I kind of sit back, and you see a flicker across my face, and it's a little bit more intense. It's a little bit of you know that I sometimes will change over to a slightly more intimidating form when things need to be done.
You want to roll me an intimidation check?
Sure. Can I? Let's see. Do I want to intimidate or do I want to? I may want to do something a little different.
Okay. It is up to you.
Let me do a. Is it possible to persuade instead?
It is.
Okay. Excellent. It's a 13.
Look, this is a 5-year-old goblin child. It's not that hard.
You should tell us the truth. Are you being offered an eldritch bargain right now?
No, but Miss Thundergrumble said I should take it if I get one. And I'm kind of really confused because Johnny said that, like, that's bad, and then they might have, like, put Infernal on my bed, and then they spooked me, and I didn't like that. But
Well, if an entity comes to you, you should find a counselor and ask questions, and we'll help you. Why don't you come sit down right next to me, and we're gonna sing some songs. Here's a marshmallow roasting stick.
Okay.
And I hand you I'm gonna steal this from Lauren, who is in chat. A small extendable marshmallow roast magical extendable pole. It's a marshmallow roasting stick.
this tiny, very nervous goblin child sort of sits next to you, scoots away from Esmeralda, and just sort of, okay, this isn't gonna summon anything, right? Like, this isn't, nothing bad's gonna happen,
No, you
right?
should be fine. You should be fine. You know when something gets summoned, usually. Usually.
Okay.
But you should be prepared for anything.
And as this goblin child kind of like sinks into you, like just goes his like shoulders up as tiny as possible with his stick held up almost defensively into the remains of the fire. Can everyone make me a perception check?
Sure thing, and thank you very much to Deborah Bryan, who's donated for another forfeit. Have a look-see. Yeah, no one nominated, so I guess we'll roll it out again. Or has anyone not done one yet? No, we've all done one.
Oh, we all did one with the 500.
We did,
Like,
yeah.
We all.
That's me again. Roll 20 being like that, huh?
And you're spoiling all your good rolls too.
That's
Yeah.
so unlucky.
Oh, what is that?
Is there no good beans in that? Like, are they all
Seems
bad?
like
or-
it.
supposed to
There's
be.
not.
They are supposed to be. Whether or not there actually is, though.
Yeah, that's dirty dishwasher.
Oh, gross.
So,
Is
like,
it better or worse than
soapy-
vomit?
Everything is better than vomit. Everything is better than vomit. The vomit is just so acidic, it just continues.
Scrat, I need you to roll a perception once you're done processing that. Zinfi, what did you roll?
19.
Oh, okay, 19, 18. Okay, and a nat 20, awesome.
Yeah, the cleric is always ready.
Cleric is ready. So
I'm on high alert.
Karen, as you sort of like go back to your friends and you sort of sit, you're not really looking around the camp. You're just kind of like, yeah, this happens every year or whatever, it's fine. But the cleric of Belschnickel, and even Zinfi and even Esmeralda, as you're sort of trying to comfort this goblin child, Zinfi, you notice this goblin child like being very tense, and then suddenly just sort of droops. And from your place, like standing in the fire, you can feel this cold wind sort of blow across camp, and for a moment the fires around you flicker like purple and then die down.
Okay.
And you can look.
Everyone, come close, please. Come close. Huddle in. Count off. And I have them all do the count off that you always do with kids at camp.
And
Are
it
they all
starts
there?
off strong.
I count
They're
them.
all there, but like they start going fainter, not as if they're disappearing, but as if they're like starting to drop to the ground. And sort of everyone except Karen, because Karen, you're very much engrossed in your conversation. You can sort of see these giant crows. They're much bigger than crows should be, like the size of like a golden retriever, sort of lumpy and misshapen, and their black feathers sort of sticking out at odd angles, and where their eyes should be is just this bright purple fire, and they're sort of perched on the roofs of the camp, just sort of looking at everyone.
Is this a charm? May I counter charm?
Counter charm? I don't think so, because it's not a single spell from one source.
Okay.
But if you want to do, I'll let you do, if you want to do like an Arcana or a Detect Magic to kind of get a sense of what's going on. I will allow that to happen.
Sure. Which would you prefer for this?
It's up to you.
Either.
What do you want? The information I will give you will depend on what you do. But
let's start with the Detect Magic, and then
Okay.
if I don't get enough information from that, I can throw the Arcana in there. So my Detect Magic is it's a spell. What am I doing? So I cast Detect Magic.
You cast Detect Magic.
I don't know why I rolled.
As you sort of feel this cold wind blow across camp, you can feel this wave of, it is enchantment energy very similar to a sleep spell, but it is tinged with this burning purple necrotic energy. And the campers all start sort of dropping one by one by one. Karen, even now you notice the person you're talking to, they sort of like waver, almost as if like right before someone passes out, and then that gnome you're talking to just sort of slumps against your side.
So I think the counter charm may actually be useful here, because it will give me and any friendly creatures within 30 feet that can hear me advantage on saving throws against being frightened or charmed.
You can cast that if you would like.
I would like to use an action to do a counter charm. I start playing a different song on my lute to buck everyone up. I start playing. I said a boom, chicka boom, and when they don't respond, I said a boom, chicka boom.
Okay.
Come on.
I said a boom, chicka.
Seeing Zinfi like struggling.
Chicka, there we go. Okay.
I know the full
and I get it going.
Karen's got like a gnome in one arm, and she's like kind of picked up another person, slumping in the other, just holding people.
I know the song by heart. I like perfectly say it at the right timing. Like I fully say it completely in a loop.
Okay.
Seeing all this, like Esmeralda, if there's like a child somewhere who's not singing, she's just gonna flick their ear.
There is more of like a very pimply like teenage half elf, just like, dude, ow. No, I don't want. No, I'm not doing that.
Jab him with my.
Fine, then just
pipe.
stand next to me. I said a boom, chicka boo.
I said a boom. Shit. Why are we?
Did you pay attention during the lesson? Jeez. This is why you're gonna be back next year. Pay attention.
Yeah, I'm total. And then they just sort of like doze off a little.
Stand up straight when we're doing the count. Oh my god.
No, screw you.
Who are these children?
I don't wanna listen
Who
to
are
you.
these children?
Between verses, I want to try and pass along the information that I learned from my Detect Magic.
And everyone make me, now that you all have advantage thanks to counter charm, make me an intelligence saving throw at advantage.
Oh, intelligence, eh? Oh.
Oh no.
You know, as well as forfeits, you can also gift advantages to players. Just, you know, throwing that out there.
You all...
Oh, 13, unlucky for some.
None of us are smart. Oh no.
No. I gave myself really bad stats.
Cindy, what did you roll?
13.
Okay.
Ooh.
Wow, y'all. You kind of all start feeling despite the boom chicka booms and the energizing song, you start to feel like something, like you start feeling heavier. You're not like asleep, but you start feeling that sort of drag and that sort of weight. And as you sort of try to look around you, try and maintain your bearings, you sort of hear there's another gust of wind, and this one sort of carries a little bit of a song with it.
Oh, actually, sorry, mine was a 14. I just realized I have a 12 one.
You are the best out of everyone. You're able to maintain this, but you still sort of hear this sort of music sort of start creeping in on the wind. You can't tell where it's coming from, but you can sort of see these crows that have perched onto the camp cabins. They sort of look at you and they and with that music starts to seem to flow from them, and you can see from the campers that have sort of fallen, you can sort of see a just actually 1 moment, sorry. You can sort of see the shadows of these campers sort of in that dying purple firelight. They almost start to halo themselves with this purple light, and it's almost as if they sort of peel themselves up off the ground and start walking.
Is there can I track the source of it at all?
Yeah, sure, go ahead. How do you want to do this?
I mean, I guess following the music, since I know harmonically where things might come from.
Okay,
So
yeah.
I guess would we call it is it maybe a performance?
I would allow you to do performance because this is music based. You could also do a survival if you have that, but I mean, you're a bard, so performance might be better.
Performance is where I'm gonna go.
All right, go for it.
That is a 16 on the die. 16 plus 2. It's a 29.
29. Oh yeah.
Yes.
You can sort of track the music, and you can sort of hear the chords, and you can hear it reverberate, and based on how it echoes kind of in that space off the trees around you, you can tell that some of it comes from these crows, but you can tell that a larger source of it comes from way in the forest. And as these sort of haloed shadows start walking away, you can see them as if they're walking in time to the music. You can actually see them following that common time beat as they sort of march towards the music.
Does it seem like I can break the trance my friends are in? My campers and my...
I will say there are a couple of you that are... Okay, hold on, sorry. You can sort of see, you can see a couple of the ones that you were closest to you as you sort of did your counter charm are able to stay awake.
Okay.
There are a couple, like the little goblin child who was sort of curled up against you with that marshmallow prod has sort of fallen limp against your side. They were definitely affected much more than some of the other ones. The boom chicka pals came a little too late.
Okay. Does this seem like something I can wake them from, stir them from, the little goblin child, or are they gone for the time being?
They look completely asleep. If you want to do like a medicine or an arcana check to sort of get a better sense of what happened, you can.
Sure. Oof, 13. Not a great roll.
13? I mean, so you kind of can look over this child. You can sort of see what they're going on. They're still breathing, and you can still feel a pulse, so they're still alive. But when you it's very faint, and it's a very faint, almost like a fluttering heartbeat, kind of like that, like a very fast sort of do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. And if you sort of kind of pry open their eyes and look, you can sort of see their eyes where there should be are just sort of this bright sort of white.
Does this seem like the sort of thing that healing would fix, or does it seem like it needs something more intense?
As you sort of watch the goblin shadow sort of peel itself up off the ground and walk away, you can get the sense that this might be a little bit more intense than just a cure wounds.
Okay. I am going to go grab my... is the Cleric of Belschnickel nearby?
The Cleric of Belschnickel is nearby, having...
The Cleric of Belschnickel is I. Sorry, go ahead.
Cleric? Cleric?
Yes!
Can you help? What's going on?
Those are birds, I believe.
Yes. Can you help this child?
Well,
Do you recognize this sort of magic?
Do I seem to know anything about this?
If you want to do the same thing, I'll let you do either a medicine check or an arcana check or something along those lines to sort of get a sense of what's going on.
I have such bad stats. It's okay.
Oh no.
Yeah, I'll do
The rest
an arcana check.
Hey, thank you very much, Mo Graphics, who donates $15 to the charity. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
They haven't designated, so I'm just going to chuck free advantages on the screen, and we can use them as a group. We can just dip into that pool.
Cool.
That's awesome. Thank you so much.
On an 8, well, the kid's asleep. They're
Yeah,
sleeping.
it seems sleeping. Probably didn't get enough sleep last night. Huh, the kids these days.
Great. Yeah. Fantastic. Anybody? Can anyone help?
What would you like us to do?
Are we under the effect of this as well? Because I rolled like butts.
You are, I will say, with the boom chicka pows came just in time, so you haven't gone completely under. You kind of feel that sleepiness, but you are able to, I will just say, as you kind of like, you're trying to honestly keep up with the song and sort of do that call and response. It's the thing kind of keeping you awake, and you're able to fight off that sleepiness. Kind of like when you take melatonin, but like if you're like thinking too hard about it, you don't do it. That's kind of what it feels like.
Okay. Well, Karen's gonna just start like the two people that she has in her arm. She's just gonna tie them up with rope so that they can't like proceed wherever they're going, and just start trying to like grab people and just pick them up and take them back towards the campfire.
And you could do that. Roll me, I would say, let's see, if we want to see how many you can do or how fast, I'd say athletics, or you can maybe do acrobatics. I don't know which one's better for you.
22.
I agree this is a good idea, so I'd like to do the same.
Okay. Do you want to help so we can just take the advantage, or do you want to roll your own check?
I want to do it as well.
Okay, go roll your own check. Athletics or acrobatics, whatever you prefer.
I'll do athletics.
Okay. So with those two rolls, you are able to sort of get the campers kind of the ones that have fallen asleep. You can sort of get them and sort of shuffle them off. You can see like as you kind of carry them, they're very limp in your grasp, and they're still breathing. You can sort of feel that same sort of fluttering heartbeat that Zinfi felt, and you can sort of set them up and sort of prop them up against logs and sort of get them in like somewhat stable positions. And as you do that, you can see some of the crows start getting a little closer and a little closer.
I'm gonna throw a lance at one of them.
Okay. Roll an attack.
Okay. I'm sorry, a javelin. Oh, fudge, I didn't change that one. Hold on.
I mean, yeah, a -9 doesn't hit. I think that's wrong.
There we go.
A 17 will hit.
Great.
Yeah, you throw one into this. You spot one of the birds on one of the roofs, and you just fling this javelin at them, and it just sort of, you can see it almost like passes through, like it definitely hits, and you can see there's like a puff of feathers, and then it just sort of almost like reforms like mist, and you see that crow sort of just and just sort of shuffle a little bit closer. You can see now there's maybe 5 that have just sort of all turned their eyes on you, and they're sort of these bright purple eyes, and they're all looking at this 7-foot-tall warforged who just threw a lance at one of their own.
Yeah. I'd like to cast something, I
Okay.
I think I'll say, "Back up, crows of discord," and then I'd like to cast Spirit Guardians.
Ooh.
Okay.
That sounds like a good thing. I'll just. Oh, yeah.
What
It
to?
didn't explain it. Crap. Sorry, I'm trying to. I wanted us to get the explanation for this. Not sure how to do this. I can read
Alright.
it.
Yeah, just read it for me.
You call forth, I call forth, spirits to protect you. They flit around you at a distance of 15 feet for the duration. If you are good or neutral, I'm neutral. They're spectral. Oh god, it just.
Whoops,
went
sorry.
away.
That was totally me.
I don't know what happened. Oh! Nice.
Okay.
You can read it.
Yeah, awesome. So what Thank you.
I'm so
What is
sorry.
your-
I
I'm not that good at like. I don't know. I'm not that good at reading out loud.
No worries.
In English, it's worse. It's like.
Okay. Let's see. They so what do the Guardians of the Cleric of Velshnickel look like as they sort of? I'm assuming you cast them around Karen.
Yeah.
They look like
I
tax collectors.
They're centered on her. Or
I
him.
think they probably look like
Okay.
bears.
Oh, they're centered on the cleric. Okay.
Mhm.
So these they're like small bears because they're small little spirits, but these mini bears just sort of start running through the air around you.
They're not supposed to be cute. That's what I say when I cast it. I'm like, they're not supposed to be cute.
They are the most adorable bears you have ever
Aw.
seen.
No! No! But yay.
Well,
I'm
we're
like really upset because I probably never cast a spell before, and then I realized they're cute bears. I'm like, oh man, I should have envisioned other guardians. Like,
They're
this
sort
is
of
the worst.
and they're just sort of running through the air, just sort of galloping.
Okay, we have another bean donated by an anonymous donator. Thank you, anonymous donator, whoever you are. And also, thank you very much, Marcus Whitman, who donates an extra $3. A free.
Thank you so much, Marcus. That's fantastic.
Thank you.
Yes. Katie, a free means you.
Ugh. Do not want. I'll do two. Okay. This is fine.
Cleric, you can see a couple of these crows as they sort of notice like the only few of you that are still standing around this sort of dying campfire. One of them tries to like swipe and dive bomb you, but it like one of the bears sort of just catches it and bats it away with the paw and sort of and just sort of falls back. And you can see a couple of the crows from the roof sort of and they sort of they bat their wings, and you can feel that sort of cold wind, and you can hear again that faint tingling music as they sort of take off. And you can see that the light of some of the campers, their shadows still, like, the campers' bodies are still now in that safe spot, but their shadows still start, like, peeling off into the trees.
I would like to summon my, I have Find Greater Steed from Magical Secrets.
Ooh.
I would like to have my my mount show up. And I think I'm gonna fly on a Pegasus. I think
Oh,
that's my
Certainly
jam.
can. Heck yeah. Heck yeah.
Yeah, so I'm gonna grab my Pegasus, and then I am going to sure, let's burn it all early. I'm gonna fly up high, and I am going to use a destructive wave. And I'm gonna go high enough that I am above the birds and won't hit, but I won't hit my my friends.
Okay.
And is it possible that I guess I have to strike the ground to do that. Is it possible to do that in the air instead of the ground?
Sure, why not? Yeah.
Okay.
100%. Let's do it.
I strike a cloud like a thunderclap, creating a burst of divine energy. It's rippling outward from me. They all need to do a Constitution saving throw or take damage and be knocked prone.
Okay.
And also, I think it would probably knock them out of the sky.
Oh, 100%.
And I would like to also throw a cutting words on there. So they
Okay.
have, minus a D8. Is it
Okay.
D8 or D10?
I think it's the D10 because it's your bardic,
D10
right?
at this point. Yeah, it is.
Okay. What do you say to cut these crows with your words.
Trying to think of the meanest thing somebody could say at camp. You missed laundry day.
Oh, the shame. Oh. Okay.
Yep.
I'm gonna roll their con save. You can roll the d8.
It's gonna be -1. It's not that exciting.
I mean, well,
Sadly.
that's an 8, so it's still a 7. I'm like 90% certain that fails.
It will fail.
I'm just doing 1 because I'm not rolling for all of these birds. That's just too much.
So they are going to take. They're all knocked prone, and they're going to take. Where did it go? There it is. It is 5d6 thunder damage, and then 5d6. Let's go with radiant, since they seem to be doing necrotic themselves.
Ooh, yeah. Go for
So,
it.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So for the initial damage, it's 5, 10, 14, 15. So that's the 15 thunder, followed by 10, 15, 16, 17, 18 radiant.
15 thunder,
Click
plus
clacks
18.
of your dice is so satisfying.
I just got a new dice tower at a game hole, and it's very pretty.
Oh my
Oh.
gosh. That's
It's one of the
gorgeous.
C4s, and
All
I
right.
am in love with it.
So this, from the ground, all 3 of you still remain on the ground. You can see this Pegasus soar up, and then there's just a massive shockwave that just, it not only tears through these clouds of birds that seem to be flying over the forest, it also like tears through the trees themselves. You can see the leaves sort of rustle, and you can hear things sort of crash. These birds, as you sort of send this destructive wave down at them, you could see a couple of them just sort of poof into like a cloud of black mist and feathers. You can see a couple though, they just and they sort of, you can see them fall, and you can track their bodies as they sort of fall through the trees, and they sort of, you can almost hear that faint sort of thud as they clatter to the ground. As you do this from the sky, what are the other 3 of you thinking of doing?
Look, this whole time, whilst people have been flying and throwing javelins and, going ham, Esmeralda's been watching these birds. Can I make some kind of nature or survival check on them to try and determine their nature? She has a suspicion
can.
that they may be devil birds.
Go for it.
My
Whatever you
worst fear,
want.
devil birds.
Well, on an 11, they are birds. They look bigger than normal birds. They don't look like devilish birds. Like, you've had experiences with devil birds. And they don't-
Allegedly, never charged.
You've had alleged experiences with
Whoa.
alleged devil birds, and they don't
Whoa.
allegedly look like alleged devil birds.
I think
But
the
they
suspicion
also
is enough, though. So Esmeralda is going to run back to her little protection circle that she was making with the goblin. She's going to swish her black cloak around her in a veil of mist. The cloak drops to the ground as she uses her invocation Sculpture of the Flesh to polymorph into a goose.
Specifically the dire goose, or just a goose?
A dire goose, yes.
The dire goose.
A
Okay.
dire goose.
I wish I had a hat to take it off to you.
So
I
do you wanna just-
do. My hat is off to you.
I will say I did make the stat box specifically for today. Describe what this dire goose looks like.
Well, it mostly looks like a goose. The thing about a dire goose and a regular goose is how do you tell the difference? Because goose are pretty terrifying anyway, in my opinion. Maybe the teeth are slightly more pointy, maybe the feathers are a little more sharp, but it mostly just looks a lot like a goose as it waddles forward of everyone.
Okay, so Karen, cleric, you see this tiny wrinkly halfling step into the circle that was like already kind of sketchy, and then just poof into a goose.
Karen's like head has kind of like robotically like turned and like seen all this happen, and she just like turns away. She's like, now's not the time to be questioning this. Maybe later or never. I don't know. And she's going to start a rage if these crows are still up. And
The
basically,
crows have all been like, most of them have been absolutely decimated. You could probably find a couple of the bodies that have like hit the floor in the forest somewhere if you wanted to track them. But for the most
we're
part,
not
these
allowed
crows
in the
have-
forest.
That's rule number 2 of the camp.
Okay,
They
well
never said
then,
anything about being above the forest.
that's true.
Rule number 1, protect each other. Rule number 2, stay out of the woods. There are unwritten rules as well, which you must follow.
Well, if they're rules, they should be written. That just seems to make a lot more sense.
She is a
spirit of
camp
the-
counselor.
I believe you need to learn these rules by experience, and they must be shared by word of mouth.
Also, Zinfi, as you come back, Esmeralda has become a goose. You don't know how, you don't know why, but there is now a goose.
Has Esmeralda done this before during the summer?
Probably not.
Okay.
Honk!
That's so weird.
Where did Esmeralda go?
Honk!
That's her.
It's a very nice look.
She's gonna like bend down with her beak and pick up the shawl that dropped to the ground that she used for the nice illusion and like
I'll help. I'll help
over
her
her.
put it on.
Wait, so she turned into a bird when the bad birds were there. Are you with those birds, Goose?
I'm gonna think that's no.
I take my little like recording device and I'm like, Esmeralda may be a goose that is associated. Do not trust her.
as if anyone trusted Esmeralda.
My gosh.
Well, I mean, how do the rest of the campers look? Are there like shadows still being ripped off their bodies?
Interesting. Most of the campers now have no shadows to speak of. Like you can see the light hitting them, but there are no shadows. You can see the last few of the shadows. There's that sort of faint purple light haloing them, sort of still proceeding in like that sort of rhythmic march into the wood, into the trees.
And they're still like incapacitated.
They
basically.
are essentially asleep in like the deepest sleep of their life.
Well, I don't know anything about magic, but I think that if the first rule is protect each other and then the second rule is don't go into the forest, then we should listen to the first rule first.
I would agree.
Yes, yes. The first rule precedes all other rules, but
Should
ideally
we
all rules
go-
must be followed.
Should we
This
go
doesn't
get
seem
the-
ideal.
Should we go get the head of the camp, do you think?
Michael! Michael! I run off to go get him immediately.
Okay. Roll me. I guess we'll say to try and find Michael. Roll me an investigation.
Nice. I investigate for Michael.
Because this is intentional searching, so we'll file it.
Oh,
under
not bad.
Okay.
I
Pretty
tend
good at
to,
finding
like-
Michael.
I'm really good at finding Michael. I actually track him by scent.
Okay. So you sniff.
Yeah,
sniff,
I'm like,
you sniff for.
yes,
for-
yes. Michael is in his office. I can smell that. Yes.
You can trace the smell into the office, and then you can trace the smell going deeper into the forest.
Oh my God, Michael is in the forest, guys. We must protect each other, including Michael. Guys, to the forest.
All right.
Would anyone like a ride
I'm good. I have
on a
these.
Pegasus? No.
I don't think that I meet the size requirements to make that a pleasant ride for your
Must
friend there.
be this tall or below to ride a Pegasus.
Yes. But it's okay, because my mom made me these sweet jetpack boots. So if we gotta
Okay.
fly, I'm ready.
I mean, is going above the forest a better way to go? Because that way we can look
Yes.
down.
And that way we kind of respect the rule of not going into the forest, which is superior for sure. Could I get on your Pegasus? You know, I've always thought of the Pegasus as the better horses. They have like an extra horn to defend themselves
Dinty,
with.
you just remember all the times the cleric has insulted your lute playing.
Yeah. And all the times that they've been a backseat driver.
It's a mighty fine beast.
I'm gonna hold you to this today. But if you cause trouble, she might drop you. Okay?
Noted. I will cause no trouble whatsoever.
Okay, deal. Let's go.
I get onto the horse, and you can see I'm so happy about being on this horse.
Okay.
Like, I've been seeing her with this Pegasus for like the past 3 years at camp. She tends to bring it out, and I've never ridden a Pegasus in my life. Like, there's like, as I'm riding, I'm like hiding it, but I like kind of. I do a little horn for myself. I'm like,
That's a unicorn.
My Pegasus don't have horns, crap.
No, they have wings. Yeah, wings and no horns.
No! No, they don't. They can't have. They don't have horns. It's just horses with. Oh, I'm so disappointed.
So you do one of these.
You know what?
The cleric has a fake horn in his pocket that he pulls out and puts on the Pegasus.
Yes.
Straps to the ears.
Cardboard
mask.
tubes. It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Like
it's like
ever
that,
since
and
I.
just sort of there it goes.
So,
Yeah.
yep.
There it
And
is.
it's strapped behind the ears.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, ever since I saw that, like I actually crafted it in advance. I waited for the moments where we ride this horse, and then I just put the little horn on it, and I'm like, at last.
I was wondering what he was doing on Arts and Crafts Day.
A collection of just fake unicorn horns every single day at camp for like the past 3 years. Just been waiting for this moment.
Is there a safe place to have the kids go? Is what I'm wondering.
With those earlier athletics roles to sort of carry and transport like the campers to like safe locations, Cleric and Karen were able to sort of get them like propped up kind of around the campfire, get blankets around them, sort of still in the open. Like you know the camp itself is pretty. They seem pretty safe, and it seems that like with the birds having left, the camp itself has gone quiet. So I will say that the campers are as safe as can be in the situation. If you two would have wanted to, you could have also carried them to like inside a cabin or somewhere. I'll just say we can retroactively say that if that's something you would have wanted to do.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'd probably keep them safe and not have them with us.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is the better way to go.
Yes.
Well, we flying.
What's Goose doing?
Goose is waiting until the Pegasus begins to alight, and then it's then going to flap onto the rump. Honk!
God.
Possibly holding onto the tail.
On a there is now a goose on this Pegasus's butt.
Karen has to say like a certain like thing to make her boots of flying work. So she just kind of like under her breath, just kind of looks down and was like, "I love my mom." And then get little rockets on them, and she floats up.
Roll me a stealth check.
Okay.
Can I oppose that?
Yes, 100%.
This is so real. Like, very, very believable.
Anyone who wants to try and hear this, roll against that. You have to roll higher than a 17.
I want to roll for this. It's a perception check.
Yeah.
Also, thank you, Fernando,
Oh, yeah.
who donated $5 to Extra Life as well. I've added another advantage.
Thank
onto the
you so
screen.
much,
Thank
Thank
Fernando.
you.
That's awesome.
Oh,
Yay!
it meets it beats.
Goose, did you want to roll, or you just let it? Did you care to hear this?
You know what? I shall roll.
And Zinfi, what did you roll?
It was not high enough.
Okay. Well,
We all hear it.
the goose hears it. The cleric hears it.
She just kind of like looks over, and she's got like these kind of like metal, kind of like slightly illuminated panels that are in the shape of hearts on her cheeks, and they just light up red. And she's like, "What? Let's go!" Just starts moving forward towards the forest.
And you can. And all of you can fly in some form or another. Zinfi, how is your Pegasus reacting to having a goose on its butt?
It is a very well-behaved Pegasus, but it'll shake its mane every so often when your claws dig in, because that's pretty uncomfortable.
When I see it annoys the Pegasus, which I respect very, very much. It's probably like, besides Michael, I think it's the second favorite being I have at this camp. I'd like to carry the goose.
Okay.
Like, hold on to the goose so that it doesn't dig into the Pegasus.
Yeah, and Pegasi are very smart. They have, humanoid intelligence. So it knows what's going on. Yeah, she's aware of what's happening. Yeah.
She's aware that one of your party members has just turned into a goose.
Yeah.
How does Goose react to being held? That is another question.
I'm preening. Like the twigs that were holding my hair back, I imagine are still stuck in my goose thing. So I'm like trying to preen them, doing the awkward goose preen. The rubber neck. I'm trying to
For a
preen.
second, I kind of forget that it's Esmeralda, and I kind of enjoying holding the goose because I tend to pick animals. Like, it reminds me of my childhood. Like, I worked on the farm and stuff, and I'm like, oh, sweet goose.
Claire, can I call you Claire?
Yes.
You are very, very good with that goose. I'm quite surprised.
Yes, I've been told my
as
presence is
Ellie-
calming for the goose.
Honk.
Calming is not usually the word I would think of to describe you, but yeah, okay. I suppose if I were a goose, I actually could see that.
Babies and goose. Geese? Geese?
Babies.
Yes, very good with babies.
Babies. Interesting.
Yes, you hold them just like the goose. You kind of swaddle them.
Honk, honk.
Yes. Sure. And I start singing along because why not?
Karen,
we got a
you
ride
see
to
your
go.
camp counselors. One of them is a goose. One is holding the goose. One is singing along with the person holding the goose. You go to this camp every year.
Karen is just like, thank God Mom made me those boots. This is so embarrassing over there.
Karen, why don't you come sing along? Come join us as we fly.
She just kind of like kicks her little like jetpack, and she's like, what? It's so loud. The noise, sorry. And like just...
I steer over next to her.
Oh, what are we singing? Just kind of gives in.
Hello, Father.
Yeah, kumbaya.
Kumbaya, my goose, kumbaya.
No.
The stealth level of this group is amazing.
I think it was a let's see. I have a list of camp songs that I'm looking at.
So prepared.
Some of them are my spells. It's loading slowly, but I was trying to do a Helamutta to get you for the boots thing.
We can just sing
Hello,
Baby Shark.
Mara. Hello, Mara.
Baby
Oh.
goose,
Here I
do
am.
do 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 do, baby goose, do 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 do, baby goose, do 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 do, baby goose.
Thank-
Infernal goose, do 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 do, dire goose, do 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 do. As you're
Pegasus. Pegasus.
Yeah, like we've got an hour and a half left. Like we
Yeah.
can just fill it with variations of Baby Shark. Oh God, no.
Very
If
catchy.
you're happy and you know it, clap your hands.
Donate if you want us to stop singing
Aw.
Baby Shark.
Yeah. Yeah.
As you say, if you're happy,
Yes,
you know
okay.
it. As you say, if you're happy, you know it. You clap your
back to
hands.
the game.
Wings come out. Honk.
Hey, if you donate to Extra Life for Kids, we're gonna stop singing camp songs. But if you don't, we have an hour and a half left of the stream. We can
Oh,
keep
yeah.
going. As you're sort of flying over, if you anyone who is, or if you're sort of trying to keep a track of where these shadows are going, if you're trying to still like sort of track Michael, you can roll me a perception or an investigation check. Or if there is another way you want to sort of track things, you can pitch it to me, and I'll probably let you do it.
So instead of me tracking him, I'd like him to track me. So I go, Michael!
Is that the goose or is that the cleric? Let's see. Oh, that's not right. I'm not performing. There we go. Still terrible. Either way.
I'm sorry, this is a
We
brilliant comment in
definitely
chat.
can be performing because we're singing along. So, by
Yeah.
the way, if anyone needed a rest, you're getting additional healing while we're taking that rest. But I'm gonna say we could throw a bardic inspiration on that for anyone who's singing. So,
Don't bother. She's not giving it her all. Not with mine.
Scott, you were gonna say something?
I was just saying, just a brilliant comment in chat there. Gives a whole new meaning to shut up and take my money. The goose's eyes are kind of like red though, and they don't look like they sleep ever.
Oh god. Nightmare fuel.
so that's a 20.
That's a 20. If you want to reverse track Michael, cleric, you can roll me a performance or a persuasion. This is yelling, so this is how loud and how not attractive, but how much attention can you attract as you fly over these trees?
Intimidation.
Actually,
Honestly, that would
think-
work too, because you're just going.
I actually think I want to cast something.
Okay.
I have
Awesome.
something that must be useful here. But I still need to look through the spells. I'm not. No, I think that works. Is scrying a thing that would work?
You can yeah, I
You
think
can
so.
see and hear a particular creature you choose that is on the same plane of existence as
Yes.
you. Oh, that's better. So I don't need to scream, Michael.
I mean, but you should.
But I will as soon as we connect. That's the first thing I'm gonna do.
Okay. Let's see. Modify the target knows you're casting the spell. It can pay one to be observed. Okay. Successful save. So it's what save does Michael have to make?
Wisdom.
Is it a wisdom?
But it's modified by how well you know the target and the sort of physical connection you have to it.
Okay.
And this is why I always carry a strand of hair of Michael on me, just for that
that's-
particular occasion.
Okay. With that, we'll add +5.
Not creepy at all.
I'm gonna do this roll. I'm gonna do this roll in secret because I don't want you to see the name of this character sheet.
So would that allow me to communicate with the person, or are I just gonna see and hear? Oh no, that's it, right? You can see and
Wisdom?
hear it
Ah,
through
okay.
the sensor as if you were there.
Actually, never mind. We're just gonna do this. So, am I allowed? I'm not gonna do that. We're gonna do straight D20 for save. Would everyone be okay if I took one of the advantages for this, or is that mean?
I mean, they were donated. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just roll 2d20 then. See what happens. Okay, so that's a 15. What's your save?
How would I know that?
Save is normally it's your spell save DC. I will say because you have the hair, we'll bump it up by 2 because it's not entirely first hand, but it's also you have a piece of them with you, so we'll say we'll bump up your spell by 2.
Where do I find that spell save DC?
Should be on your spells list at the top.
Oh, on my spells list. I got it. 13.
13 plus 2, 15. So meets beats,
Yeah.
so you can't see. So
No.
you can
my.
see.
Oh, I
Meets
can.
beats, so you can.
Okay.
So you sort of, you can see. Oh boy, and fail save the spell because the sensor within 10 feet of the target. You can hear and see through the sensor as if you were there. Okay.
I still scream Michael at that point as if you would hear me. I know you won't, but Michael, I'm here with you. Michael, I can see what you're seeing. Michael, talk to me. Talk to me now.
Michael cannot hear you, but what you do see as you sort of like, you can still feel yourself like holding this goose and sort of flying through there, but it's almost as if it goes.
It's very
distance.
calming. I'm like petting the goose. Because I'm nervous. I'm like, oh God, Michael's not okay. Goose.
And you can sort of, as you sort of step into this scrying space, you can see the first thing you notice are these shadows. The ones that you saw sort of walking off camp, sort of that halo with that purple sort of light around them. You can see them walking, and you can see most of them have started to stop. And you can see another campfire, very similar to the one that you had camped, except this one is sort of this palish, almost iridescent purple as it burns. And as you can see, sort of standing there among the shadows, but not a shadow themselves, is Michael, the camp director, sort of standing there, almost as if counting off the different shadows.
Oh my God. Michael has been possessed by something evil, and it's making him count evil shadows around the campfire. We must rescue him. Something's going wrong with Michael.
You spy on people often? Or is this a one-time kind of deal?
One must be ready at all time to secure
That
the
was
perimeter.
really an answer. She sort of pulls her cloak a little tighter around her.
Have we ever seen Michael do anything questionable that would make us think like maybe he's just a bad person? Or
Roll me a history check.
let's see here.
We want to look into Michael's questionable history.
May I
agree,
get in on
kinda
this
looks
as well?
questionable.
Why
fine.
do I roll so bad for those?
Hey, guess what though? I have a special rule when it comes to critical failures.
Oh yeah.
Let's
You want to take the failure or convert that failure into a success, but I get to add a complication.
I think that you can add a complication because I don't like if he's actually a bad person, I'm ready to just like smack the hell out of him as soon as we see him. If not, then
Okay,
we'll figure it out from there.
cool. So, you think back to all your years at camp, and I mean, it's weird. Like, I mean, you know, Director Michael is like the founder of the camp. You know, like they're supposed to be there, but you've never really seen them around, and you never really see them like do a lot of the camp activities. It's almost as if they're never really there. There have been a couple of times when you've like, you know, broken curfew. Not that you would tell anyone, and you've almost you swear you've seen them sort of like slip off into the woods, sort of out from the back of their office in the middle of the night. And every time that happened, there was sort of an uneasiness that sort of settled over camp. Some people ended up going to like the medical office, just sort of after every time you sort of caught that out of your eye. And you always thought, it's a weird coincidence. It's fine. This camp's safe. We didn't break any of the rules. Everything's fine. But now that you're thinking about it, yeah, that's a little suspicious.
Okay. So did you share with us what you saw in your scrying?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But
so
I did say it as like, you know, Michael's been possessed, something.
Yeah. So Karen's like, I don't know. Sometimes Michael just does like some kind of sketchy things. Are you sure that he's following all the rules himself?
Yes, of course. He's the one that made up the rules, so he must be following them. As head of camp security, I can confirm to you that the camp has always been secure under my watch.
But if everybody else who's in the forest is a shadow and he's not, maybe he isn't under the same kind of effect as the rest of them.
Maybe they treated him differently because he was better.
Okay,
I
well,
don't think anyone's better than anyone else. People are people.
Talking of people being people,
Yes,
Edmund,
I agree with you.
sometimes people are geese.
thank you so much, Ed, for coming in with a $50 donation.
Oh my gosh!
2 beans. 2 beans for the $50. Not designated, so I'll roll them out. Thank you so much, you guys. We've broken the $700 mark now.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Wow.
Okay.
yeah, Jen.
Mhm.
Roll20 doesn't like you.
me.
It's
Jen?
singled you out, big time.
No.
Now you can do sour and hot.
I can do sour and hot. Oh my gosh!
At the same
This
time.
sounds a fresh kind
Is that
of
what I'm
hell.
doing? I want to do sour and hot.
Oh, that sounds like a lot.
Sour and hot.
Here we go.
Oops.
For the kids.
Try that again.
Here goes the hot.
Hot. Sour.
Okay.
Here you go.
Godspeed.
Godspeed.
Ooh.
Oh wow, that's a flavor combination. Grape and cinnamon.
Ew.
Not something I'm good with.
Ooh. Ooh.
Oh
Yikes.
no.
For the kids.
For the kids.
For the kids. I do have to ask though, because I was gifted a complication now. Cleric, are you still in the scry? Did you stay in the scry? Or did you pop out? Did you maintain like staying in the scry?
Oh,
as you were talking,
sorry.
Or did you pop out?
No, I'm still there.
Okay. As you sort of are watching, and you can see Michael sort of counting these off, and you can sort of hear very distantly Karen sort of being like, it's a little sketchy. And then you can hear Zinfi also going, maybe, no, there aren't really like good people. You can sort of, you hear that same sort of music again. But this time it sort of feels louder, as if it's like coming from all around you. And you can see Michael just sort of look, and it feels like he makes eye contact with you. And they sort of look at you.
I wave back at him. Super excited to see that he sees me.
And you can sort of see, and he just sort of walks over, and you can see almost as his shadows like ripple behind him, and some of them almost like melt against him, almost like conglomerating with his own shadow. And they sort of walk over, and he just sort of, he gets down, and you can almost feel him like crouch. And
I crouch
even
with
though you're
him.
not there, you can feel that, and then you can feel, even though you're not there, you can feel his hand sort of grip your face.
This is the best moment ever.
He just goes, if you're going to do this, you should probably come find me. And you can feel that cold sort of seep up and up and up your neck. And anyone who's not watching, you can see the cleric's body sort of suddenly go rigid. And at the same time, there is a bright flare of purple energy from somewhere
them
deep
so
in
they
the
don't
forest.
fall.
There is a bright purple light that sort of woof up. Make me a dexterity saving throw to make sure the cleric doesn't fall.
I think as well, when the cleric's hand stops scritching, I'm gonna become an annoyed goose, and not really hard, but sort of like, a little bit hard, just gentle bite of the cleric's hand.
14.
14. On a 14, the cleric sort of like you feel yourself suddenly go rigid, and you can feel like you just sort of slide off. You were able to catch it like just in time, but it's sort of like that one-handed, almost completely off the Pegasus. It might have been helped by the goose chomping on his finger, maybe.
Karen, kind of like seeing this, will try to help readjust the cleric back onto the butt of the horse. Pegasus thing.
You're able to push gently back, sort of push back onto the horse. Cleric, you are able to come back, and like you sort of unfreeze. You are forced out of the scry, and you kind of feel like that cold clamminess sort of remained on your like face where Michael was like kind of holding your face.
I hold on to it.
And there is that. I'm sorry, I'm laughing really hard. It's really hard to be serious.
That's amazing.
It's so good. And you can you come back to your body. You were like forced out of that scar. You can kind of feel that lingering headache. But you do have the cherished cold touch of Michael. So
Yeah, it's worth the headache.
Did we see from the forest exactly where that purple light came from?
You can actually see it's burning really brightly now.
I'm like, I don't know what just happened, but at least now we know where we're supposed to go. Shall we descend?
Here, come and find me.
Find
me.
I would like to. Is it worth it to Dimension Door there, do you think? To go invisible on Dimension Door? Should we surprise him?
I don't think he's gonna be surprised now if he sent up a giant purple beam at us.
That's true.
Do I recall that Michael loves or hates surprises, or is he neutral about them?
Roll me a history check.
Okay. It's very important to me. 13.
I mean, look. He likes throwing surprises, but like there was that one time when you surprised him because you were like, I'm always prepared. Look at all the knives I've hidden them everywhere.
Exactly.
There's a knife in this bush. And he wasn't super thrilled about that. So you're really not entirely sure if it's just you that he's just like a little ambivalent towards, or surprises in general, or maybe it's just knives. He's just not a big fan of like having knives everywhere around camp where there's kids. But you know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go ahead and make myself invisible, I think.
Go ahead.
He doesn't like surprises, I believe. Remember that time when he found all of my knives? He didn't like that. Michael,
Karen,
we're coming, don't worry.
Time. You remember these knives. You remember the talk that happened after that.
These are for security. I said it 12 times.
Right. Well, I think that we're gonna have to surprise him anyway, even though he probably won't be surprised. So it doesn't even matter. He's not gonna be surprised. It's fine. Let's go fight the bad guys that may or may not be Michael.
Yes, the bad guys that control Michael or influencing him or that caught him. Yes.
Mm-hmm. And Karen, kind of like to get ready for this, is like, yep, it's gonna be fine. And she like takes out this giant long sword and she like turns away from it, everybody, and she just whispers, "My dad is the coolest ever," and it lights on fire. And she's
oh my gosh, I love.
Roll me another stealth check.
Love. So cute.
This is a great touch.
My dad is the coolest ever. Really loud.
The sound from my boots is just kind of screwed up my hearing. And I'm like,
you whisper it and it doesn't work, and you just kind of shake it and go, my dad is the coolest, and it just really loud.
Let's go. Start descending.
Honk.
Let's see here. Using the DOS loot, I'm gonna throw my protection from evil. Before I go invisible, I want to just put a couple of things on myself.
Okay.
A protection from evil and good.
Okay.
Um,
I'm gonna find that spell real quick for reference because I do not remember that off the top of my head, but that is a-okay. I will look it up myself.
Okay. Fly.
Okay. Aren't fly and invisibility both concentration?
It's from the loot. I don't think I have to. Do I have to keep both?
I think you can only do one at a time.
Is it one at a time?
Thing,
Okay.
It's through the loot, so I'm not.
Okay, then
sure.
I'm gonna go with let's go with evil and good.
Okay.
For now.
So you have to choose a certain type of creature: aberrations, celestials, elementals, fae, fiends, or undead.
Yes. Did I get a sense of what?
I will say you got a lot of necrotic energy.
Okay, undead then, I suppose.
Okay. Perfect.
I don't mean to alarm anyone. I will stop being a goose after an hour.
I think
find
that's less alarming.
Oh, that's alarming to me. Like this goose is calming me like
You
quite
can
a lot.
continue to give her scritches even when she's not a goose. Just,
It hasn't been an hour yet. I'll say it's maybe approaching like 50 minutes.
All right, let's go kick some butt.
How many roads must a man walk down?
All right, awesome. So you start descending down into the trees. You can actually see like where this light is burning. You can sort of see that it's almost like a clearing. So I mean, technically, you're not like in the trees. So you know, in the rules be rules. And again, you can hear that sort of music start to play as you sort of enter into this clearing. You can see these shadows sort of in that light from the purple fire just sort of stretching in all directions, kind of climbing up the trees. Almost as if like forming a canopy of shadow itself, these long shadows stretching to a natural length. And you can see Michael there, and he gives you a little bit of a wave as you start approaching.
Welcome in, raiders. Thank you very much, Worldownville, for the raid. Join us as we are raising money for Extra Life. If someone could chuck the donation link in the chat there. Every little helps. Please check us out.
We're also doing forfeits for $25 donations, so, you know, make us eat terrible things as we try to keep playing.
It's so sour.
It's true.
My
spicy.
tea
And
is
spicy.
covered in sugar, and I do not have that.
Sour and
satisfying...
spicy can be a great combo, but not those last flavors.
All right. Do we see anyone else there besides him, or is it just him in the shadows?
Just him or them and the shadows. And you can see it's like their shadow stretches the longest. Sort of, you can see some of the shadows almost like sort of melting into his as you sort of walk and you sort of approach.
So,
we're coming to save you, Michael.
Thank you very much, Bowman, who donates another $25, nominating me this time.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I'm suffering.
It's either rotten egg or buttered popcorn. We'll find out.
Oh no.
I don't think that's one of the ones you can't tell the difference between, though.
Gross.
Right? I feel like we've done this.
It's definitely not very bad. Whether that means it's buttered popcorn or rotten egg, I'm not sure.
I hope it's buttered popcorn, or you got some weird taste, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't taste awful. I might just be like, you know, accommodated to the stink bug, dirty dishwasher, and vomit by now. So I'm like, oh, yeah, no, this is actually quite nice. Yeah.
This was food once.
Yeah, rotten eggs. Yeah. Ooh.
Delicious.
So gross. Oh, so gross.
Yeah. Karen kind of stands back and lets the camp counselors and Michael's best friend kind of set the mood here, because she's just a camper, just trying to do her best. So
We support. But Michael kind of gives y'all a little bit of a wave.
I give him a really big, enthusiastic wave. We're here at last.
I was really inspired by the whole self-immolation idea. I just sort of decided to have a little bonfire of my own. What do you think?
It is one of the most beautiful bonfires I've ever seen in my entire life. You even followed the protocol of regulation and safety with how you place the rocks. It is a beautiful thing, Michael.
Very nice, and I quite like the purple. It's got that unnatural sort of tinge to it. Oh, hi, Zinfi. How are you? Are you as enjoyed with this as our dear friend?
I'm a little concerned. There was
Oh,
a
really?
bit of an attack on the kids, and just the shadows, which are sort of leaning here, are we're there.
Oh,
so
those kids? Those ones? These ones?
the campers.
Are you starting a new camp? Like a second camp? Do you want me to also be assistant to the camp manager at that camp too?
Maybe not so much a second camp as in just really digging into the camp's original purpose.
Okay.
Original purpose? What was
Well, a dragon has to eat after all.
A dragon?
As he says that, you can see that shadow. It starts to shift. You start seeing it grow these long wings. It starts to get spines down its back.
I flex my wings in reaction.
Head, and it starts to the neck grows and grows, and you can sort of see it elongate into this like shadowy maw. And as it sort of,
Michael is turning
wait,
into
I
a
cast
dragon?
Synaptic Strike.
you can do that. So, is it a saving throw for synaptic, or is it?
It is. Every creature in a 20-foot radius sphere centered on the point that I choose.
Awesome.
I'm gonna go ahead and throw that so it's not hitting any of our gang.
I figured.
And I'm going to start singing. I take out my lute and I start. This is the song that never ends.
Oh no.
Yes, it goes on and on, my friends. Some people started singing it, not knowing what it was, and they'll continue singing it forever just because it is the song. And that's what gets into his synapses.
All right.
And it's an intelligence saving throw,
Okay.
and I will also use cutting words with that. So
To
that's
reduce
gonna
the
be a
saving
D10 off of it.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Roll the d10 for me. I will roll the intelligence saving throw.
3.
Oh, that's a 5, so it was a total of 2.
Okay.
I rolled a nat 20 on advantage. Dang it! All right. Yeah. So this hits. They take full damage. Roll me the damage.
86.
So, just to recap, Michael was turning into a dragon.
Yes.
And now she hurt Michael.
Yes.
Well, because
God.
Michael said he was going to eat the children.
That's one of those unwritten rules.
I mean, I think that's enough provocation to act. So
I just say out loud, so you're telling me, Michael, all this time, my best friend was a dragon?
Prize.
I detect
And as-
danger. I'm gonna start wiggling to try and keep Cleric's hands full.
Roll me an acrobatics check. Let's see how your wiggle performance.
Even
So,
the goose excited
Michael
about
is
this revelation.
going to take 26 psychic damage.
Oof.
Also, for the next minute, Michael will have muddled thoughts. During that time, it's gonna
roll. They are going to roll a d6 and subtract the number they roll from all of its attack rolls and ability checks, as well as any Constitution saving throws to maintain concentration. And Michael can make a saving throw at the end of each turn to try and end
All right.
the effect.
All right. So you sort of send this blast as you sort of sing that never-ending song, and you can see like the shadow itself start to like writhe, and as it sort of writhes, it's like you can see Michael's human form also rise, but she sort of, as she rides, it's almost as if her physical form starts to change to match that shadow. You can see those that dark hair sort of turn to scales, that plate down the back of their skull sort of turn to spikes. You can see them sort of grow and grow and grow in size, their fingers turning into talons digging into the earth. That maw elongating, and that smile that has been on their face the entire time is sort of growing until those teeth are sharp, and this massive black dragon wreathed in purple fire is bearing down on all of you. And as that synaptic static hits, this dragon lets out a loud
Yes, it goes on and on, my friends. Some people started singing it, not knowing what it was, and they'll continue singing it forever just because it is the song.
"Ow, shut up!"
I will not.
Are we rolling for initiative at this point? Because I'm ready to
roll some initiative.
time to throw down.
What's a goose's dexterity?
I gave you the dire goose's stat block.
So
you should be able to have that.
Yes.
Nice.
Ooh. Onk.
Okay. Zinfi, what did you roll?
16.
All right, I think you are going first.
Okay.
Zinfi, and then Dragon, and then I believe Karen, and then Esmeralda, and then Cleric. All right.
Gives me a lot of time to decide what I'm doing.
Oh no.
I don't know.
Okay. Zinfi, you are up.
Underneath what I'm playing on the lute, I'm going to start playing a bass line that just amplifies what's happening. And I will use dissonant whispers.
Oh my god, yes.
So they need to make a wisdom save.
Awesome.
Which does synaptic effect. Just ability checks, attack rolls, and
Okay.
con saves, and so no.
Oh, I just punched my mic. Oh gosh. Okay. Wisdom save.
Oh,
Here we
I
go.
should have done.
That's a
you
10.
know-
I can't roll. Doesn't matter.
Okay. It's going to take 3d6 of psychic. 4, 5,
Roll 20
so
really hates me today, yo.
10 psychic damage.
Okay.
And it on their turn, they must use their reaction to move as far as its speed allows from me.
Okay. Did you land?
I'm still up in the air.
Okay. Okay. I will say then this, as it uses its reaction, it sort of scuttles like away, like backs into the trees. Almost to the point where the only thing you can see from it are these like burning purple eyes sort of split down the middle with that slit pupil. Anything else you want to do on your turn?
Yes. There was something. Yes, I'm just going to. Oh no, it's a full action. Never mind. I'm just gonna sit there and mock Michael a little bit.
Okay.
What, Michael? You just can't get that out of your head, can ya? This is the song that never ends. Yes, it
Oh
goes
my
on
god,
and
shut up! Shut up!
Some people started singing it, not knowing what it was, and they'll continue singing it forever just because. And that bass line just pumps.
And as that last sort of shut up sort of bellows from their mouth, they are going to. Was the Dissonant Whisper? Are they frightened or is it?
Dissonant Whispers.
They have to move away.
Psychic damage. They flee. 1 second. I'll just go back to the actual.
Just double check.
Oh, and I had wanted to upcast, but I didn't say that I was upcasting. No, it just takes psychic damage and uses on its reaction. It will move away.
All right. It did take its reaction to move away.
Great.
And it sort of just, and as it bellows that shut up, its jaw unhinges, almost like a snake, the way a snake's jaw drops to fit something, and unhinges so it can fit something in. And you can see the spark ring out in the back of its throat, and there is a sudden wave of cold and dark purple energy that surges in your direction.
Use my my changeling ability. Where is it? To get away from that.
Okay.
It is my unsettling visage. When it makes an attack against me, I can use my reaction to impose disadvantage on that roll.
This is not an attack roll. This is an area of effect.
Oh, okay. It's an area. Okay. Do I have is it my Pegasus who needs to dodge?
I will say
I also have the protection from evil up.
Yes. What does protection from evil do? So the disadvantage on attack rolls against a target cannot be charmed, frightened, or possessed. I don't think this would apply because this is an area of effect. So everyone in that sort of cone, if you are around it's aimed at the Pegasus. So if Karen landed, you wouldn't be in this. We can either have the Pegasus make the save, or everyone can do it individually. It's up to all y'all riding the Pegasus, whatever you feel like.
Let me see what the Pegasus's save.
It is going to be actually no, it's not a dodge, it's a constitution, so it would be individual. Because it's not like you're not trying to dodge. It's not dexterity. I just reread the thing that I gave it.
Okay.
Sounds like there might be some problems with the Extra Life site. Hopefully just keep on trucking. I know they had some recent problems with hackers. Hopefully that's not happening again. Just persevere with us. Thank you very much for your attempted support, and hopefully they'll be back online soon.
Okay, so what is it? Cleric, Goose, Zinfi, and you can have the Pegasus save, but since it is also conjured, I mean, we can just sort of waive it if you would rather not. That's up to you.
Okay. I mean, it's got a pretty high con, so...
Everyone make me some con saves. There are advantages in the pot. I think there's 2. I think there's 2 or 3.
15.
Okay.
So I'm a 17 and the Pegasus is a 14.
Okay. Goose, make me save.
Constitution, right?
Yep. Karen, did you land, or are you sort of hovering around the Pegasus?
If Michael's on the ground, then she would be on the ground.
Okay, so then this wouldn't have hit you because this was aimed directly at the person singing the song. I believe did everyone fail? Oh no. Okay.
Oof. 17 is a fail?
Ouch.
Yikes.
That's a DC 19. So that is...
And it's, does it take anything from the... It takes something from the other spell too, doesn't it?
From protection or
The
from...
confusion?
Synaptic?
No, it's confused from synaptic, isn't it?
Yes. What is... I need update. Oh, Google Chrome, please.
From all attack rolls, it's Constitution save fails to maintain concentration. Never mind.
So that is 56 points of... Let me split that in half. Hold on. Okay, so that's 28 points of cold damage and 28 points of necrotic damage.
Ow.
To everyone. Does that drop your goose form?
So it takes 56 damage each?
Yeah, everyone takes 56 damage, 28 cold and 28 necrotic.
Not even
Yeah.
close.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I gave your goose annoyingly high stats.
Yeah, you did. I don't know why you did this,
No.
but I'm happy with it. Yeah, sure.
Oh no, I forgot. Your goose had like upward of 100 hit points.
The goose is eternal.
No, it's a dire goose. It is actually a fiend. Like it is legitimately a devilish bird.
Oh my god. This is fine.
So you're saying that Michael hurt me?
Yes.
Oh, you can see like the hurt and the pain in the cleric's face.
Oh my god.
Goose, you can feel the sadness in the arms that hold you. There is tragedy.
Oh yeah. Like it's basically a kid's heart that got broken. It's like
Oh,
it's the feeling of your first love when you get dumped.
Oh. Poor
That's
guy.
Thought he had a best friend,
No.
and now his best friend is hurting him.
You were played.
You were played. No toxic friendships
Sure.
allowed in this house.
You can see he's still clinging into a little bit of hope that like this is a joke or something, or he's gonna like
Oh, buddy.
be like, cleric, I always wanted you to be alongside me in this quest or something. But how can I roll something to know like how much do I cling onto this, or do I?
I will
accept
say we
that?
can do that on your turn. Right now,
Okay.
it is in initiative. It is Karen's
Alright.
turn.
Karen, that's me. Okay. Yeah.
Yes,
So
you are
Karen, that is I. All right. So Karen on the ground, she sees just like this enormous blast go through, and she's got these like big giant screws for eyebrows. They're like flathead screws, and normally they're kind of like upward, kind of like concerned, and they just like slowly grind and turn down into angry eyebrows, and the ends of her wire hair just start like just cracking with electricity, and one of her blue eyes just kind of like starts to like go out a little bit, and then it comes back red, and she's going to rage and run at Michael with her flaming longsword.
Heck yeah, go for it.
Thank you very much, Anonymous Donator, for another advantage. Added it to the pool.
14 hit.
A 14 does not hit. You can see like it clinks sort of against the
Mhm.
scales of this dragon.
She's gonna hit him again.
Do it.
18.
An 18 will hit.
Yay! So that's gonna be 21 points of damage, 12
Oof.
slashing, and 9 fire.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to action surge and
Heck yeah.
I'm gonna try to hit him again.
nice.
God damn, I'm rolling like shit.
We've
We
got
do
a
have
bunch of
advantage.
advantages.
You have inspiration
Oh.
too.
Okay, well I'll use the advantage then.
Yeah, we can.
Um,
We'll say because we were donated a lot of advantages, you can call it retroactively, and a 26
Okay.
will hit.
Cool. So that's gonna be another 12 slashing
Oof.
and 8 fire damage.
Oof,
And-
those sword training weapons you had at camp are really paying off now. You can after that first hit, it took a little while to get back that muscle memory, but those next 2 hits just sort of cleave very cleanly into this dragon.
And that's gonna be my turn.
Okay. On action search, do you get another attack, or like if you take the
I think you
attack
can
action again?
Take one more.
I think you can get.
You
one
only
more
get one
attack.
more attack.
Oh, is it?
When a creature. Or
So
wait,
you
this
get
one.
your full action.
I was like,
again,
you get your full action, right?
think.
So you
Yeah.
get another attack.
Okay.
Look, we've got
Sure.
an hour left.
I'm not
gonna
gonna
let
argue with you.
you-
If you
I'm gonna let you take another attack. We've got an hour left.
20, that'll hit.
20 will hit.
15
Oof.
slashing, 5 fire.
All right, you take a massive chunk out of Michael.
She mad. Watch out.
She mad. She mad. Anything else you want to do on your turn?
No, she's just gonna stand in front of him, trying to like face off with him,
Okay.
so people can recover.
All right. Goose, it is your turn.
Honk. I'm going to remain in the cleric's arms, but flap my wings menacingly at Michael, and I am going to honk twice at him. Honk! Honk! I'm gonna use a retroactive advantage on that second one.
You can. Both 22s hit. Please roll me your infernal honk damage.
Good God.
That's amazing.
This thing is straight from hell.
What did I do when I made this stat block? What did I do? This is my own creation. Okay, so I mean, you honk. Can you want to describe what this looks like?
I'm just staying in the arms of the cleric. You know, maybe before I honk, I look at them sadly. I can feel their pain.
I'm really connecting with this goose right now. Like this is a good moment.
I give them a gentle bite on the wrist, and then honk honk.
And it's like this goose's eyes flare this bright devilish red, and you can almost see like the air pulse as you honk, honk, and the dragon winces. It hurts. It hurts a lot. Anything else?
I have an interesting question as well. The damage that we received, what kind of damage was it?
It was half cold and half necrotic.
Right. So I only took half damage on all the cold damage. I'm gonna. I think actually I am gonna leave your arms. I'm gonna, after biting and honking, I'm gonna hop out of the cleric's arms.
And feel that I tried to hold on a little bit, but I know I have to let you go.
And I'm gonna go and wander up to Michael, and if I can bonus action insight check something precious of his that I can steal and run away with.
You certainly can. Insight check. You can insight check, or you can investigation.
I will insight, because when you polymorph, you keep your own, like, oh, actually, mine's worse, but never mind. Yeah, I'll insight.
You can
You're
use the
worse than a
goose's
goose.
It's
Oh.
you don't find anything particularly interesting, but you do find the keys to the camp, like the camp arcane lab, which you were like preemptively banned from because you were making sketchy chalk circles. You do find that key ring.
Next turn, I'm ready.
Okay.
This is the best.
I don't. Cleric, it's your turn. The goose has left your arms.
I found what I'm doing. This is good. So I would like to try to banish the dragon for 1 minute because Michael, I wanted to think about what you're doing right now. This is not okay. I've been by your side all these years, helping you make this camp the best training place on Earth. Now you go and think into another plane, like cast banishment.
Okay.
You put it in timeout.
Yeah.
I will say with that excellent speech, I will impose disadvantage on myself for that saving throw because that was beautiful.
I don't want to hurt Michael. I just want him to think about what he's doing right now.
Okay. I just realized something. It's fine. Okay.
What? It doesn't work? It's not like that?
No. What saving throw is it? It's
a charisma.
Charisma. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm imposing disadvantage. You had an excellent.
Oh, you're already at disadvantage. Okay.
Oh yeah, I'm imposing disadvantage because that speech was just. I couldn't not. It was so heartfelt. I felt it.
Michael, please.
Is a 14 fail?
You know what? I'm gonna use cutting words as well as a reaction.
What do you say?
You need a timeout, Michael. You need to think about what you've done. I'm backing you up.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then more. Yes, it goes on and on, my friends.
So is it the spell save that you need?
Yeah, I rolled
That's a 9.
Oof.
So
14 minus 9 is a 5. I'm assuming that fails.
It's 13, yeah, so it fails.
Okay. So you say this, and as you pour all your hurt into these words, why don't you describe what this looks like as you banish this your former best friend, now a dragon, into the shadow realm?
I'm pointing at him, and I'm like, now you go in that little corner, and you think about the hurt you've caused to all these kids, and especially to your best friend. Now you go and think. It's like it creates like a little corner. It kind of goes away.
There is like a very pale, like a gray corner that sort of just appears in the trees, and you can see this dragon. It tries to fight it, but it gets pushed back. Esmeralda, if you want to try and steal those keys before Michael disappears into the banishment, roll me either a sleight of hand or like a dexterity save, whatever you feel.
Esmeralda, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you?
Dexterity or sleight of hand?
I'm not great at either of those.
We do have advantages.
I do. Okay. We'll make I'll make a dexterity saving throw. I'll use one of the advantages as well. Yeah. No.
It's barely able to find your beak catches the edge of the keyring, and you're able to yank it off as this dragon poofs away. And Michael is gone.
It's gonna come back in 1 minute. So I'd like, meanwhile, to plant. I'd like to take my bag of beets, and I'd like to plant one of my beets near where the dragon will come back to.
Okay.
So it's a roll D100, I think, and then we'll find out the effect of the beet in 1 minute.
Okay. Do you want to roll the D100 or?
I guess, can we wait until like when he comes back and then I'll roll it? Because it should happen at the same time in theory. Because we do have 1 minute of whatever people wanted to.
If that fire is still going, I kind of want to like rage kick dirt into it to kind of try to put it out.
Make me attack rolls with searing rage.
I'll just
How many things can we do during that minute? How many spells can
so
we
many
cast
things.
in theory?
You can do so many things.
I
That's
can
like 10.
10 attack rounds.
10.
Okay.
We could build a cage.
How many do you want me to? Am I like just doing damage?
We'll just do one. You are able to like rage. You still rage going, and you're sort of kicking dirt onto this fire. It fights back a little more than normal fire would, but you are able to sort of douse it out. There's still like a little bit of glow, just enough that you can see, and you can also still, everyone can see still because of the moonlight above. It was like you didn't notice the shadows had covered the moon, but now that the dragon is gone and the fire started to put out, you can sort of see the shadows start receding from above you, and you can see the moonlight starting to seep into this clearing. You are able to put out the fire. It would just more have to see. It wasn't necessarily to attack the fire, it was just how effective you were in terms of burying this fire in the dirt. You were very effective.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Important question, Mackenzie. Before the dragon was banished, is there any chance Esmeralda the goose could have?
Oh yes, that's with that dexterity save, you're just able to grab it.
Honk. So I have the keys.
Yes.
A goose with keys is a dangerous thing.
I'm just gonna run off into the forest.
But the rule, no.
Neck down, wings up.
No. Goose, you're my new best friend.
I would like to cast Healing Spirit and get do some hokey pokey to heal up. Because
will you do the hokey pokey, or is it just a hokey pokey?
Oh, I will do the actual hokey pokey. And anyone else who would like to join me, may hokey pokey. You put your right foot in, you put your right foot out, you put your right foot in, and you shake it all about. Anybody?
Karen like screams. She's like, I don't want a hokey pokey right now.
Well, then you can take your wounds and just go do your thing, Karen.
Karen
but
took no
some
damage.
of us are collectively.
Thank you very much, anonymous donator who specifically gifts an advantage to Jen Kretschmer.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Is there anything else in this clearing other than?
I'd like to also heal people.
Okay.
Well, she put out a healing spirit, so if you just run through that, you have 10 sticks that you can get back for a minute.
10d6.
Oh,
what's up?
You can just keep running through it because you got time,
Yeah.
y'all. So
Healing
you can just
sprinkler.
run.
should we build something? What should we? Should we build a prison?
Karen just angrily starts stacking sticks. like she's making something, but it's just a pile of junk. She's mad. All right. Well, she's just gonna wait with her sword where he left, just ready to just continue to slash at him, I guess.
Okay. You wait. And you wait. And you wait.
I water the beets that I put
Okay.
into the ground. It did specify that you need to water it.
I feel someone roll me an Arcana or a
Really
or a
painful.
nature or something having to do with dragons. Okay, well,
You know
Oh, wow.
everything.
Do you know how many dragons my parents fought back in their heyday? You have no idea.
see, look, you may not know a lot about magic, Karen, but you have heard the stories from your parents, and you have heard stories about dragons, and you do know a little bit about how banishment works. You can, from what you've seen of the dragon, it's sort of black scales, sort of tinged with that sort of smoky purple, and the way it was sort of almost not puppeting, but the way it was drawing from the shadows of the campers, and even the shadowy fire or shadowy cold that it blasted at your companions. This wasn't just like a normal dragon. It was a shadow dragon, which normally originate in the Shadowfell.
Oh.
Banishment, if you hold it for a minute, kicks things back to its original plane and stays there.
Karen
That
just
dragon
kind of
doesn't come back.
she like slowly her eyebrows start to go back, and she kind of turns towards the cleric and puts a giant hand on his shoulder and is like, I have some bad news for you about Michael.
What is it?
I don't think he's ever coming back.
What? But what
I
about
think-
the timeout?
You timed him out forever.
No.
He retired. It was on the agenda.
But we
It's
were about
fine.
to have a conversation.
Which would, and I think about it for a second, and I gulp. As associate director, I think you're in charge.
Me? Are you saying that I am, at last, the camp headmaster?
Roll me a D100.
Director. But
This is the
Did you-
best.
What are the beats gonna do?
I don't know.
Oh god, a hungry bullet furrows up and attacks us. I replaced the dragon by a bullet.
The Discord.
Don't worry, guys. I will protect you as camp headmaster.
Oh my god.
So, as you're saying, I have bad news. Michael isn't coming. And then this chittering, angry,
Oh my
like gray
gosh.
shell thing just bursts out of the ground and just sort of starts chittering after you.
Oh, time to reroll initiative.
Yeah, I think so. We just changed the encounter, but we're still having one.
hop on board the Pegasus. Hop on.
I think Esmeralda returns from the forest as Esmeralda now, but without keys.
Oh no. Okay, well, the bullet is going dead last. So Esmeralda, you disappear. You come back as no longer a goose. The dragon is gone. And now there's a bullet.
Oh.
Oh god, am I going? Okay.
Zinfandel,
No.
you're first.
Are people wanting to hop on board the?
I don't know. That's up to everyone else.
Do you want to fly or do we want to take care of this?
I don't know. I put myself in harm's way for sure. because I don't want the bullet to attack anybody. Because now they're under my supervision. This is very serious.
I will polymorph the blood
Okay.
into a snail.
Okay.
It's my current favorite brand of polymorph. So it's going to make a wisdom save.
Okay, hold on. I need to rearrange my initiative real quick.
Sir, you're not making it into like a goose.
You
You
want to add another infernal goose?
Chaos that the goose has wrought. And as much as I would love to, no, I think we're good.
Okay.
We're good with getting it into something
Okay.
that's not going to run away.
Okay, wisdom save.
What are we gonna do?
It is a
with
wisdom save, DC 17.
Well, it's a 5. The bullet becomes a snail. So there's this, and then it just, and now there's a very small snail, just sort of.
So is this like a timeout for a minute, or is it the snail
Yes.
forever?
No, it's a concentration up to an hour.
I have an idea. I think I
Or
go
if
next,
it
right?
drops to Unless we kill it.
Yes.
Okay. Well, we can either fly this guy out of here, or we can just keep flying up and up and up and up and drop it.
That's what I'm thinking.
All
Either
right.
Or
Well, I do.
I mean,
have,
it's an innocent animal.
I do
so-
have.
It's
friends,
not in its natural habitat. This ain't right.
I do have
Well, they
friends.
live underground, don't they?
I have friends in pest control. We could summon one of those, and they could deal with this for us.
That
You
sounds
have friends?
reasonable.
By
Ooh.
agreement, yes.
Hmm.
Did they sign a contract? A friendship contract?
In a manner of speaking.
Friends don't sign contracts.
Guys, we get about 30 seconds to decide what we want to do with this snail.
We have an hour.
Oh, an hour? Okay. Then, yeah.
We can debate this plenty.
Yeah, all right. Let's debate this. All right. So we can either bring it someplace else. Does anybody... Where are they normally from? I know that they're like
There's
underground,
a
but...
hole in the bottom of the sea. There's a hole in the bottom of the sea. There's a hole. There's a hole. There's a hole. There's a hole. There's a hole.
How
there's a hole
about-
in the bottom of the sea? There's a snail in the hole in the bottom of the sea. This is how I cast the spell.
All right. Well, I'm down for anything as long as we can get back to the campers and make sure they're okay. But
Yes, we should get back to the kids because they are not old enough to be smart enough to know to follow the rules. We must instill that in them. Maybe we should send the snail to snail camp.
So, is
that's
anyone
not
else
a
concerned
thing.
about the whole thing about Michael being a dragon and eating children?
Not anymore.
Just me.
I mean, I might know. Do you know where he might have gone?
Karen, with that nat 20, you know it's probably the Shadowfell.
Totally the Shadowfell, man.
I mean,
Parents been there all the time. It's wild
might-
stuff.
I might have friends over that way. I could contact them and ask them to keep tabs.
Sure.
Michael.
Okay. Your
Well.
friends are there?
Some of them.
Oh.
I'm very inclusive in my friend
I
keeping.
thought I got to know you all really well this summer, but apparently not. I mean, we had all that sharing at Friendship Circle.
Yes,
We
I
signed
remember.
a friendship contract.
I
No,
remember
we
drawing
didn't sign contracts.
drawing the friendship circle. Yes.
Well, you know, from now on, as a headmaster of the camp, I will make everybody sign
Camp
friendship
director.
contracts.
Camp director. And no, you can't make minors sign friendship contracts. They're not legally of age.
That is true. Well, all
It's not a
people
legally
that
binding
are-
contract.
That is true.
That's true.
The snail
Maybe
sort of
everyone
wetly-
who's above 18 will sign a friendship contract. So that way
Well,
they can't do
but
to
what about
us.
elves? Because elves proportionally have a different aging system. So elves are not adults at 18.
Karen, you feel this snail very wetly latch onto your shoe and start very weakly aciding and eating its way through your shoe.
Hey, that's chrome plating. She picks it up and holds it like upside down with the shell.
You know,
It
you have
wiggles.
you have very valid point. Would you like to be assistant to the camp headmaster?
Let me get back to you on that.
Mm-hmm. And maybe
Working with you.
while you think about that, also think about how
time.
we're gonna solve the issue of the elves and the friendship contract. Like that's top priority right now.
If there's gonna be contracts, I think this. I'm very flattered by the offer, but I think that may not be the correct position for me.
That's disappointing.
The snail lets out a very quiet, unhappy noise.
As this is all happening, like Karen's just starting to like walk away in the opposite direction of the camp with the snail.
Karen, you need to come back and sit down, please.
This is my last year, and I'm rising up. We gotta deal with this.
Fabs, thank you so much for that donation. We'll roll a dice on it. Katie.
Oh. Okay, I'll sit down.
Said with much sadness.
I mean, do we want to just let the animals go back where they came from? Because I think that's probably fair.
It came from a bean. Does he even know what he is? Oh, God.
Don't give this bullet an existential crisis.
It came from a beet, not
a beet.
Yes, a beet. It's a bit red tinted as well.
Why do you have so many beets?
Well, I grow them back at my shack on the campsite. They're delicious, very nutritious. I highly recommend them.
If these come out of them, I don't think I want to put that in my stomach, which I don't have.
Well, you know what? Just think about it. Think about what happens when you plant a beet into this world, and then I hand her a beet. You could plant this right now, you know. Just gotta water it and see what happens.
She takes the beet so that you have one less beet, but she's like, I'm not gonna do that. And puts it in her bag.
Well, you know, someday you're gonna need some help, and you're gonna hold on to that beet, and it will be there for you.
I will remember this moment when I am the world's best adventurer, Karen Jimblejack. And she's like, all right, let's just...
You will be, but first you got to finish your summer reading because your parents said if you went home without finishing your summer reading, we'd all be in trouble.
God darn it, Mom and Dad! She's just like hunched over,
the snail
angry.
kind of flips over. It just sort of, it doesn't go all the way, but it ends up on its side, and you can just see it sort of wiggle in there, like on your hand.
Are we gonna let it go home, or are we going to deal with it?
Well, let's just take it as far away from the camp as possible so that it doesn't burrow closer to the camp. Leave it there and then go back to the camp.
I'm going to start drawing a circle. I agree, yes.
Why are you drawing a circle? What's happening? That's not what we agreed.
We're going to send it as far away as we can and get someone to check on Michael. We're going to kill two birds with one stone.
Wait.
Anything.
Yeah, be careful about killing birds. Like, I have a really good relationship with this goose. I don't know where it went. I would prefer you not to kill the goose.
I'm not going to kill
Karen hands over the snail, and she's like, I need to go check on Jessica and Kyle, my future boyfriend. We need to get this show on the road.
I really recommend that everyone...
You're right, Kyle's actually really, really cute.
He's really cute.
He's really cute.
I really recommend, though, that everyone stands inside my magic circle for just a moment.
What will that do to us?
Protect you.
Oh, Okay, and the kids are gonna be safe, right? Your friend who you're gonna summon isn't gonna like rampage through the camp and kill everybody.
Yes, 50% of the time it works every time.
Okay, 50% of the time is not a good enough number for this, I don't think.
Yeah, but he said
Like,
those
we
times it
want
works
someone who's
every
gonna
time.
come and sit down in friendship circle and sing with us and roast marshmallows
And sign contracts.
not kill everyone.
Somebody who's into friendship contracts, yes.
Esmeralda.
Where did this contract obsession come from?
I feel like Cleric's about to become a warlock.
Cleric has become hurt. Don't worry, they're fine. Anyway, everyone's inside the circle. Let's leave the snail outside the circle. I'm just gonna call my friend, okay? Won't take 2 seconds.
Okay.
Well, you know there are no phones allowed at camp, right? You can't really call anyone because they want you
yes.
to focus on the time with your friends here.
Please, no one ask me where I got this as I reach into my cloak and pull out a vial of blood. And sort of pour it outside the circle on the ground.
Is this beet juice? You know, you shouldn't throw that away.
Circle. She gets into the circle. She's like, ah.
And I'd like to summon a greater demon.
Oh my god!
Okay, here's the thing. With the Dire Goose stat block, it technically counts as a greater demon. Are you summoning a second goose to take the snail?
Hell yes.
Okay, a second goose pops out of the ground. This one's
Oh,
slightly
wow.
bigger. It's about 6 feet
Oh,
tall.
wow.
It's a 6 foot tall goose. It is
No,
the
I still am
direst
looking
goose.
down.
And this sort of goose just honk.
So, to obey my
goose.
commands. Oh, I utter the foulest words, by the way. It's like abyssal. They don't sound like good words at all. All sorts of weird incantations.
Language as language.
Sorry. The goose has to make a charisma saving throw against my DC to obey me. If it fails, it obeys me. My DC is 18.
Oh my god. You just you got rid of my encounter and then you're just adding more.
Chaos. Right?
D&D.
Well, that's
It's like-
24.
It's like, hey, we're about to fight a dragon. Oh no, it's gone. But there's a bull. Oh no, it's gone as well. But the snake, no.
No, it's a 24. So the goose passes.
Yeah.
Nice.
Your control of the demon ends for the rest of the duration, and the demon spends its turns pursuing and attacking the nearest non-demons to the best of its ability.
Well, unfortunately, the nearest thing is the snail, which is going to probably transform back into a bullet.
Into a bullet.
Oh my god.
Oh, why? Oh!
I'm just gonna say, for the sake of time, y'all kind of sit in essentially a movie theater and watch a 6 foot tall dire goose duke it out with a bullet for the next hour.
I knew that geese were great.
Wow.
I think that would have
I
been
am-
more humane to drop the snail from 1,000,000 feet in the air.
Yeah.
Gruesome, y'all.
Honestly, this isn't how I saw this going.
But it's gruesome. The goose just really
I
rips
need a
into this
minor
bullet.
illusion of an eye mask over myself because I just don't want to watch it. La, la, la.
This is. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. I'm happy.
Oh
I'm happy. Oh God.
Every time I
Apparently,
clap, I have to hear it. And it's
Yeah.
like, oh!
apparently, the bullet and the dire goose are the exact same challenge rating, so it's a pretty even match.
Who
Good
wins?
lord. Who won? Yeah.
You let's do let's flip a coin. Evens, goose, odd, bullet.
Sure.
You want me to do?
Oh, you have
Yeah.
a coin on you?
I do.
Yeah. Let's just say
So
Tails,
it's a
heads.
high crit, low crit.
yeah. So we'll say
So
high crit goose, low crit bullet.
I have no skills. That is a low crit. That is a 1.
Okay. The goose, unfortunately, does not last.
Oh.
Oh!
And the bullet takes the goose and then burrows back into the earth, never to be seen again.
Cleric, how did you summon that? I'd like to know. That was quite impressive.
Summon what?
Yeah,
The bullet?
Clearly a greater demon than the greater demon that I summoned.
Oh, well, it's the magic of the beats, you know. The beats are there to save you or not. It depends if you're worthy or not, you know.
Huh.
It's very similar with my patron.
Well, it seems like the lesson here is actually that the beat is superior to the demon. And this is why I grow them in my field. Because beats beat all.
And as this bullet pulls the remains of a dire goose down into the earth, hopefully never to be seen again, the magic circle fades and you can see the sunlight starting to peek over the top of the trees. And the shadows that were once around what was a campfire and is now an absolutely decimated battleground, they have all disappeared. And in the distance, you can almost hear like that those sounds of camp sort of just trickling through the trees again.
We must get back to the camp and rescue the children.
They're fine. I just have a lot of reading to do. Will you rescue me from that? Karen just kind of just like deep sighs, and then she's like, I love my mom. And she just starts flying back towards the camp.
Well, make sure you send her a postcard.
And I think that is a really good place to end the one shot.
That
With
was
a very
awesome.
disgruntled, I love my mom flying out into the sunrise.
Oh, this one's for you, real mom, and the children.
Oh. Well, thank you very much, everyone. The first 3 hours, we've raised $783. That's
Oh my
an
God.
incredible effort. Thank
Oh my
you
gosh.
so much for all your contributions. Also, thank you for all of your retweets and for viewing, all of your support. It means so much to all of us. Why don't we go round and have a closeout? Tell us who you are and where we can find you online. And I'll repost the Extra Life thing as well. Why don't we go the other way around and start with Jen at Living Pink?
Yes, you can follow me at LivinPink on Twitter. It's the main platform I still post things on, and I mostly post about gaming, food, cats, D&D. I do still play on the D&D show, so if you want to tune into that, that's cool. And that's pretty much it. Please keep supporting good charities like you did today. Keep supporting Extra Life, share this, and keep supporting the lovely people on this group that joined me today to play D&D. It was fun.
Yeah, thank you.
That is it.
Next around the screen, we have Lazy Mermaid and Katie.
Hi. You can find me on Twitter at lazy_mermaiden, where I will post everything in there whenever I'm doing any random streams or whatnot. But my bread and butter is Venture Maidens on Wednesday nights. We're going and alternating between 2 games right now. We're doing Descent into Avernus and the regular homebrew game. And it's really fun, and it is a lot less family friendly than this, but it's great.
Fantastic, thank you. Next around, we have Jen at DreamWisp. Oh, hi.
Hello. I am Jen Kretschmer. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram as DreamWisp, and then on Twitch as DreamWisp Jen. I am also on Beyond Heroes, which is about to start. We were formerly Heroes of the Veil, and we're about to start a brand new show called Beyond Heroes on D&D Beyond Wednesdays at 2 p.m. Pacific, and it's going to be blast. I'm so excited. I also on Twitter do a lot of talk about accessibility and disability, and I love doing charity events, and I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me, and thank you so much to everyone who donated. You are all phenomenal.
Yeah, that's it. Couldn't say it better myself. Phenomenal effort. Thank you. And last but certainly not least, our wonderful DM for the session, Mackenzie.
Oh, hi! Oh my god, that was so much fun. I mean, I feel like I should. The switching encounters at the end, just like Dragon, no. Bullet, no. Dire Goose, maybe. Just that concept was so much fun. I'm so glad y'all went on this wild ride. It was so much fun DMing for y'all. You can find me over on MakenzieLaneDA on Twitter. That is my general hub. You can also find me as the co-host and current DM for One-on-One, a D&D Do What campaign, which is a podcast. You can find out more about at One-on-One DND on Twitter. I also do a lot of writing and game design myself, so you can check out me on DM's Guild. I just published Knarl's Candy Compendium last month. I also published the one-page TTRPG Bird Brains, which is noir pigeon detectives. It's very fun. Thank you so much for letting me run this. Thank you everyone who donated. This has been absolutely amazing. I can't believe we already smashed like 700 in the first 3 hours.
Amazing.
That is buck wild.
It's
thank you all.
Absolute craziness. Thank you so much, everyone. Yeah, we are gonna go and get ready with the next stream. We're gonna put around 25 minutes on the clock. So if you've been with us this whole time, take this opportunity. Go and stand up. Go and stretch your legs. Make a cup of tea. Have a drink. Take a bio. Do all the things that you should do. Look after yourself. Make sure you get them stretches in. Very important. We are gonna go to a loading screen whilst I get the next group ready. But in that time, please enjoy another one of the Extra Life stories. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you all of you, Jen, Katie, Mackenzie. Thank you so much for helping us achieve this. A great start to 24-hour stream. Long may it continue. Yeah, we'll see you in about 25 minutes. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
We have a bulletin board, and I can pin some Extra Life flyers.
Extra Life parties?
Yeah.
Some of those cost money, but some of them that are not.
The Teen Advisory Board is a board made up of both patients of the hospital and siblings of patients to the hospital.
Most of us have chronic acute illnesses ranging from cancer to Crohn's disease.
We had all these amazing teens that were so motivated and wanted to do so much for the hospital. So that's when we decided to do a teen advisory board. It all kind of came together rather quickly.
The Starflower gift shop is also selling the t-shirts we designed.
We come together every month to raise money for the hospital.
He used to run track. He texted me from school, and no kid texts their parent to go to the doctor.
Christian was different. He was incredible. He is by far the biggest impact out of all of us on this board.
I'm like, what's going on? He's like, my leg is hurting and it's swollen and hurts really bad. Joseph had taken him to the doctor. And Joseph's like, Dr. Glover said that we need to take Chris to Scott and White tomorrow. He has an appointment at 8 o'clock in the morning. He has cancer. And I'm like, huh? What? You know, in my head, I'm like, what?
Last year, we set a goal for $18,000 for a Blanketrol and a vein viewer.
The Blanketrol is used to help cool down the NICU patients that come through, to keep them on a therapeutic colder state. It helps save brain cells, just save tissue too.
And we surpassed it by over $26,000.
The first thing they raised money for was something to take care of our youngest patients. And so they're clearly not thinking of themselves.
Do y'all know what Extra Life is? Have y'all heard about Extra Life or signed up yet?
We are using Extra Life as our biggest branch of the donations that we receive.
The fact that you could play video games in order to help raise money for kids, I thought that was very interesting.
And then are you part of Extra Life?
A very modern idea. People play video games all the time, so why not play video games for a cause? It felt very right and very smart.
Sign me up.
All right.
One of the things that Christian had mentioned was that he felt like the Teen Advisory Board gave him purpose.
His diagnosis was osteosarcoma, which is bone cancer, and he was 14. He was walking with a cane like 3 months out of surgery. Chris was like doing chemo. He lost his hair, he gained some weight.
Christian stayed strong. He was positive throughout the entire time, but you could see him start to kind of get more tired.
All right, tell everybody bye.
Goodbye.
And tell everybody, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Love you. We love you.
We all love you.
I remember him in the bed. He lost movement with his hands and stuff. And I'm like, oh, somebody donated. It popped up on your tablet. He's like, well, I gotta check it. I gotta send him a note and say thank you. So he would take his hand, and it would be until like 2 o'clock in the morning, and he would still be trying to like type the note into the tablet to say thank you. I think he knew his time was coming short. At the end of the day, the thought process was quality of life, because they placed him in hospice, gave him 6 months tops. You know, they didn't think he was even gonna graduate. He still graduated. He walked across the stage.
Christian Keyless.
He sat through his entire ceremony, which was amazing, but he was in extreme pain. Yeah. He wanted to do it, so.
One of the ways that he spent his time in the hospital was he wanted to make sure that the other children were taken care of. One Valentine's Day, he actually got a box of Valentines and, you know, made his own little cards and actually went door to door and started passing out Valentines to the other kids.
His birthday was August 17th, and then he passed away October 4th.
I remember after he passed away, how we just kind of all sat in a room for like 15 minutes and just kind of cried together.
Actually, how about if I just donate? Okay.
That works too.
Thank you. You're welcome.
I don't think there will be anyone who will forget him at McLean Children's because he made such a strong impact.
Christian wouldn't want us to just sit here and cry over him. He would want us to keep on going.
He would have wanted us to keep tirelessly pushing forward towards our goals.
This year we want to go bigger.
This is our Extra Life page.
This year we are setting our goal to over 37,000.
And you can donate money to our page or have your own page and have people donate money to you.
As part of his ceremony, he made sure that in lieu of flowers, that everything went to Extra Life and to the Teen Advisory Board.
He would be so excited to see all of this because he wanted to be remembered, he wanted to leave a legacy, and this is one of the ways that he's been able to do that.